And the meeting is now going live. Is it live or is it Memorex? It is live. All right, good deal. Well, hello everybody and welcome. I think that we are live and everybody can see us. Is that correct? If you can see us, say something in the chat. Say hello. My name is Sean Simons, also known as PPG Grandpa. We got a lot of people here in the house. And tonight we're going to be talking about trike transition, going from regular foot launch over to a trike. So let's go ahead and introduce everybody that's right here on the panel. If you guys want to be introduced, make sure you turn on your video, because I just see 5 of us right now. So let's go ahead and talk with Brian Haybell Waller. He's going to be talking about his trike transition today. Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself and how can we get up with you and watch your shenanigans online?
Yeah, thanks to my good buddy PPG Grandpa. I got a website, PPG Brian, and I gave it to somebody at Lowe's today. They went and looked me up immediately and subscribed. How awesome is that?
That's awesome.
And, yeah, no doubt. But I'm addicted to paramotors, and that's the truth. I got into paramotors in 2019. I flew for about 6 months, and I kicked the hay bale, broke my leg. I was down for 3 months. Almost bought trike gear at the time, but I was gonna have to buy all new gear, and I decided I'd just wait. 3 months later, I got back up foot launching, and ended up getting my wheels just recently, and we're about to talk all about that. But I trained down at Lake Wales, Florida, at Aviator. Great group of folks down there, and I meet a lot of friends all around the country. And I've been to a few fly-ins lately. Got to meet some of these people I've been meeting online, and just living life, man. Just loving life.
Absolutely. And once you start flying, you just feel the same way. I mean, I feel the same way. That's all I want to do is fly paramotors and talk about paramotors, which is why, I wear shirts. Warning, they talk about paramotors, and it's so true. That's all I want to do is talk about paramotors. We also got Brook Sheffield in the house. You also know him as ppgpirate.com. Brook, tell us a little bit about yourself and how we can get up with you.
Yeah, I'm Brook Sheffield, PPG Pirate. PPGpirate.com goes to my YouTube. I operate Red Pill Paramotor, a new company I just started doing training. Brian and I, like I said, or like he said, we both trained at Aviator. So I kind of come from that school. Since then, I've gotten my license to teach. I've gotten my tandem license and basically immersed myself in paramotors since I learned to fly at Aviator. And yeah, other than farming for a living, which is what I do, which provides me access to wonderful fields to fly from, I'm into paramotor as an addiction, kind of like most of the guys here. So yeah, you can reach out to me via the web. Check me out at ppgpirate.com. I'm transitioning my old website, Wheels Up NC, to redpillparamotor.com. So that'll be out here in the next few days. But yeah, check me out on Facebook, Brook Sheffield, Red Pill Paramotor. And I'm usually here a couple of times on the chats and stuff. So glad to be here tonight to talk about training with Brian.
Absolutely, and definitely appreciate you being here. We also got Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane. You know him as ppgshane.com. He also has a podcast on Tuesday nights that we listen to, hanging out with Shane on Tuesday nights. Shane, tell us a little bit about yourself and your paramotor experiences.
Well, I went to school the end of 2019. So I've been flying about a year and a half now. I went to school at Four Winds PPG. My love for my school, my teachers is like Brian with aviators. It is what it is. I've got over 300 flights now, 125 or so hours on my motor, and I just got my first wing inspection. I just got my wing back from Jesus. This is what happens when you don't start drinking until 8 o'clock. I just got my wing back from inspection, and everything looks good. Got new brake lines, got them shortened. Tried to fly that at Aviators 2 weekends ago, and my first flight was a little sketchy. Brakes were really tight. I wasn't so sure about it, but everything worked out. Everything's good. Outside of that, you can find me at ppgshane.com or Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane on YouTube.
All right. And don't forget, on Tuesday nights, we hang out with Shane at ppgshane.com. So if you haven't been over there, make sure you go over to ppgshane.com and subscribe, hit that bell notification. We also got Linda Anderson in the house, and we all know her as the mom, the Paramom. So she is the paramomusa.com. Welcome. She's also our cheerleader.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Linda, and, how are you ever going to fly? Are you going to go tandem or anything like that?
I'm going to do tandem. I probably won't be flying, but I sure want to try tandem. Yes, I do. I'm watching everybody at the flying in Michigan. It was so much fun. I was feeling the vibes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like right here seeing everybody fly. It was so exciting. It was so much fun.
If only we had someone who knew how to, or was, certified to fly a tandem trike on the panel.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
able to take you up in the air. That'd be really awesome. I wish we knew somebody.
I know. Gee, I wonder who.
We might have to ask a little bit later. But Linda Anderson, she's our cheerleader. If you want to get up with her, go to paramomusa.com. And she's also the one that books people. So if you want to be on the show, just get up with her. Paramomusa.com forwards to her Facebook page. Just get up with her and say, hey, I want to be on the show. We also got, I know, right? And we also got JP Tulo, jptulo.com. He's our senior network engineer. And if you want to be on the spinning wheel of winning things, are you able to do that today or not?
Yeah, we can, if we keep it quick.
All right. So
I got a jet at the end of the hour, but
okay. So in 1 hour, we're going to spin. And if you want to be on the spinning wheel of winning thing, make sure you say hello to JP Tulo. Now, tell us a bit about yourself. Don't you have a TikTok and you're kind of famous on that?
I am borderline TikTok famous. Kind of a big deal. I don't know how to say this. I do have a little bit of a following, so if you guys get a chance, look me up on TikTok, JP Tulo. I don't know. It's just something I try to have fun with. Make some stupid videos, throw the pets in there, whatever. But yeah, Predator Paramotor training alum, Chris Holbert in Ohio here. Very happy with my training there. Yeah, just living the dream. I had an awesome flight yesterday. Got to cloud base. I had like this much fuel left, and I was like, F it, I'm just gonna plunder these babies. And I got a little bit of cloud on my chin. I got cloud all over my sneakers. But oh man, I'm gonna drop that video here shortly, and it was. You can't even, the video doesn't do it justice, but you guys will see this video here in a minute. It's yeah, you don't know it much. You got it.
I think we all totally understand. The GoPros and
we know
just do not capture what we truly see. Make sure you guys go over to jptulo.com. He's also at ppgjp.com. We also got Doug Martin in the house. He's been on here a couple of times. He's been a guest a couple of times. He also was Foot Launch, and he also transitioned over to Trike. Doug, tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you think about your triking experience now?
Well, I guess I'm an old guy that paramotors a lot, and that's pretty much it. But really, so I'm 360 hours in on this engine, or I'm on my old engine. I'm 2 hours in on my new motor. I've been at this now since 2018. Went through Michigan powered paragliding. Really, the luckiest thing for me is there's a fantastic set of resources right around me. So I've got Fly My PPG, relatively local. I've got Kevin down at I Fly Indiana Power Paragliding, and so I've done a lot of training with those guys. About 300 hours in, had a relatively bad accident, put me out for a while. I've got about 60 hours since the accident. All of those except for 5 launches and 5 landings for all wheel. I went back this spring and just for the hell of it, got my PP1, PP2, PP11, PP21, and PP3. And I had to do foot launch and stuff for that. And my transition to the trike was one of those things where I wasn't really sure I was going to like it. And I kind of fought it the whole way. In all honesty, I love my retractor trike. It is the easiest thing in the world to launch and land, and flying it. You're still flying full launch. You still have weight shift. All of that is still the same as it was before. So I'm really kind of digging the wheeled version right now.
That's really cool. We'll definitely need to talk to you about the retractor trike and and how you like it. Real quick in the chat, let's go ahead and say hi to some people. We got Geriatric PPG, JR Paramotor, Trike Flyer, David Ruff. Welcome, dude. Who else we got in here? Torqued Off. Am I missing anybody? Chris Fenmore. Let's see. Dave Aller, Chris Fenmore. I already said that. Tyler Vowles. Will Fly, Kelby Cox. We got a lot of people in here, mainly
Dave
paramotors. David Ruff. Oh, okay. PPG Pirate's still in here too, and he's on the panel, which is really awesome. Anybody else? Jack Wallace and Shannon West. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This is going to be
Sean?
Yes.
Is there a reason our video is not showing? It says you stopped it, our video.
Well, just go ahead and start it. It's no big deal.
Oh, there we go.
I just put you on there because when we had the gallery, I saw that you guys were in the back, so I didn't want to.
Okay.
While you guys were, making dinner.
Sorry, I was making stuffed mushrooms.
Well, welcome, Shannon and Mickey. Glad that you're here.
Thank you very much.
All right. Tonight is all about trike transition. And Brooke or Brian, who wants to go first and start talking about trike transition? Brooke? He's on.
I think
Brooke's still on.
He was pointing at me. I was pointing at him. That's funny.
Okay. Well. I guess the student.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. So we got a student. We got a teacher. So who wants to go first, student or teacher?
I don't mind jumping in, Brian. So the student is the teacher, and the teacher is the student in all of these situations. So basically, I learned to trike within the last 100 hours. I fell in love with it. Immediately went down to 1UP and got my tandem certification and wanted to fine tune my trike skills with those guys because those guys know what they're talking about. And then ultimately it kind of clicked for me that the transition to trike is a very natural progression. It's a fairly easy progression for an experienced foot launch person. And it adds another element and layer to flying that just is another tool in your shed of tools to go out and enjoy the day. So I started teaching trike first with Brian's my first student. Super happy with the way things worked out. I've got an awesome piece of machinery for training. I love the Fly Products Vertigo. And so basically, put my first class together with Brian this last weekend and kind of just showcasing the things I've learned at 1UP and all the things I've kind of picked up from the different schools I've been training at. And I enjoy trike so much because it adds, again, that other layer of wheels where you can take off downwind, you can do crosswind stuff, you can land downwind, you can carry more fuel, you can carry gear. It's not in competition with foot launch, which is what I think a lot of people think, I have to be one or the other. And so for me, it was just so exciting that I wanted to teach it. I wanted to share that experience with others. And Brian was the first person I kind of got to do that with. And if you've seen the video he put together, it really quickly and nicely shows how fast a person can transition. And I think if you've got a decent amount of foot launch experience, even just 20 or 30 hours would be enough, if maybe even less. And you can transition to wheels very quickly. And again, I don't like it when people get trapped in one way of doing things. And as a pilot that's just trying to learn as much as I can, the wheels have added that. And I'm just happy to share that with others. And I'm kind of happy to see what Brian's doing with it already because I've seen a buddy of mine who has gone through an injury. Sometimes it's not as easy to get through the flying day. And he's like, man, I want to carry more gear. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I think the trike is going to allow him to do that. I've already seen him get really excited. And it already adds this new layer of flying to his gear and his whole setup. So again, Trike is awesome, and I'm just excited to be doing it.
Well, we definitely appreciate you being here and talking about everything that you do. While we're listening to Brooke and Brian, is JP? Can you roll some B-roll in the background with them, rolling on the trike? If you would, that'd be awesome.
Just 1 second.
So, Brooke, real quick, what kind of now I know that there's retractor trikes and there's trikes that bolt on to your existing paramotor, so you can actually use your paramotor to go foot launch, then clip on a trike to your paramotor and go trike if you want to, pretty much like I do with my Angel. There are dedicated trikes, though, correct? So how does that work, and what's the difference between the add-ons and the actual trikes themselves?
Yeah, so you've got a lot of different options in the market. Even with trikes, you can also jump to quads. So there's 3-wheels and 4-wheeled wheel options. But the big thing to really, I think, to differentiate and separate are probably those fixed trikes versus the ones that clamp on. And what you're typically going to see is a lot of these fixed trikes where they're dedicated to triking, they're going to have these higher hang points, these fixed bars, and you're going to attach there, as opposed to these ones that clamp on or take your typical foot launch equipment and add wheels to it. They're going to still use your weight shift swing arms. So in the trike quad world, you've kind of got what I see are these two options: sticking with the weight shift swing arms or going over to the fixed hang points. And so for my way of teaching, what I want to do, I know a guy who's coming from foot launch, has experience with his swing arms, has experience with that. But what they don't have experience with is the wheels and some of the that launching with the wing coming up under throttle. And so I like to use the dedicated trike to get the practice going, because what it does, and especially on my unit, I have a cage that goes around the back that protects the back of the prop from getting the lines in from the wing. So my unit, which is the Vertigo from Fly Products, I don't know if JP could pull one of those up sometime, but either way, what I've taken is a unit that is extremely safe, has a low center of gravity. It has a cage to protect the back of the prop from any of the lines coming down. And what this does, it also has A assists. So it takes a lot of variables out for the new trike student. And so they're not holding the A's. They don't have to worry about the lines hitting the back of the cage. And so what I want to do for a pilot that has experience with foot launch is get them on a trike and set them up for success, so we don't damage their ego, we don't damage their confidence. And what we can do is we can work back towards getting those clamped on units or those swing arm units. But in the beginning, I work with a dedicated trike with high fixed points for hanging and a lot of protection and gear that really allows the student to focus on the fundamentals and not have to worry about damaging equipment or is it going to work right. Ultimately, a student that has foot launch skills and has the skills to use the dedicated trike can easily transition over to the retractor.
We got some really bad echo.
Yeah, I don't know why that just happened. Let me fix it.
Brian, I think, was sharing. He always echoes when he shares. I don't know why.
Is that
JP,
better?
yeah, I think it was what Brian.
It could be.
Brian shared. When he shares, it always echoes. There's just something going on that's weird over there. JP, are you able to do that, or?
Yeah, I had to restart. Hang on, just 1 second.
No problem. Go ahead, Brooke.
Not on my computer, so.
I know, right? All right, go ahead, Brooke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're good. Here we go.
But yeah, basically, in our school, what we do is we stick to the dedicated trike that kind of takes away some of those issues for a new student. And then once we get a lot of success and we get some taxis and some flights in, then we can switch over to those trikes that are a little bit more like foot launch, because they just don't have the confidence building, at least in my opinion, that the dedicated trikes do. They do fly just as easy, they launch just as easy, they taxi just as easy. But again, ultimately, I want to remove any variables that can cause issues when building the confidence of that pilot that's starting out. So again, for me,
There's your
Flight Products
cage
Vertigo
there.
is great.
I can see how the back of the cage is protected there.
Yes.
From the lines right there. That's what you're talking
Yeah, and
about
the
to
great
keep the
thing
lines
about-
from falling in.
We eventually removed that cage. So this trike allows us to work the student up through a progression. So we can even remove the A assist, we can take the back cage off, but ultimately the state-of-the-art equipment, I think, is what allows us to be successful in training. And I think Brian is just proof of that, because I think he had a great experience because he didn't have to worry about damaging anything. And that's what allows you to kind of go out there and kind of give it your all with a little more confidence.
Why would you want to remove the A assist?
Well, if you want to remove the A assist, that can be better training for when you jump to a unit that has no A assist at all.
Okay.
So I love this trike because I can jump in it. The only thing I got to do is grab the throttle and the brakes, hammer it, and go. There's not a lot of thinking. There's not a lot of worrying about holding anything. The trike is built to do a lot of the work for you. And again, that's just what I like in this particular piece of training equipment. So I'm going to always train on this piece of equipment until I get the student comfortable, and then we can work towards other equipment. But again, I love the Flight Products Vertigo. It's also what Aviator uses to train on trike, and a lot of other people, because of the particular set of details and things it has built into it.
It looks like right now we got Brian on the screen. So if you're listening to this right now, you might want to go over to clearproptv.com and watch this. This is really good as far as watching. I know that you enjoy listening to it. But Brian, could you tell us what's going on real quick? Can you walk us through?
Yeah, right now I'm taking my very first trike flight ever. Brook totally set me up for success with gear. The thought that I didn't have to worry about damaging riser lines when I screwed up the kiting or taxiing. So at this point, I'm flying, man, and I'm going, woohoo! I'm in the air. I'm realizing I don't have quite as much climb out rate as I did with my foot launch unit, but I got plenty of clear area ahead of me, and I'm just flying. I'm taking instruction over the radio from Brook. He has a spotter flying around me in a foot launch unit named Chris. He's keeping an eye on me too when I get out of sight of the LZ. And yeah, it's a beautiful place to fly too, up in the mountains. This is an incredibly beautiful place. We're driving up there. It's just all, pretty steep mountains. I'm from Alabama, I'm Flatlander. So this in North Carolina, some pretty good mountains. And it just opens up into this nice valley along this beautiful river. An incredible location to go learn and fly. I just wish I had more time. There's not a whole lot of area to fly and to, stay away from houses. I try to stay over trees and that kind of thing and, stay away from the houses and just concentrate on flying the machine. But the thing about the A assist that you asked about, man, that's huge. I'm really thinking about maybe potentially getting a unit like this with the A assist and whatnot, and the confidence that gives you. Basically, all you got to do is hold your hands in the right position, lay your wing out pretty well, and just gun it, go, and then make a few corrections on the wing and then fly. It's super simple. You don't have to worry about holding those A's or letting go of them early enough. There's brakes on this.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're on a big enough wing, like a tandem wing, for example, you might not be able to be strong enough to hold those A's. Is that correct, Brook?
Yeah, that's true. Like if you're pulling up a 38 or a 42 meter wing, there can be a lot of pressure on the arms. And so when you move up to the bigger units, especially with bigger motors and bigger wings, those A assists are crucial. And if you look at the wings that are dedicated to larger trikes or trike flying, they typically will have a connection there to the A malleon where you can clip right in. So yeah, I think when people look at those bigger trikes, they're going to find that they ultimately are safer and easier to use when they have the A assist attached.
Yeah.
Now, is that just is that just connecting to the speed bar mounting?
Yeah.
On this
Yeah.
particular wing, for a non-trike dedicated wing, and what I mean by that is if the manufacturer makes it for a trike, sometimes you will see a particular attachment point. If you're using a regular wing that's also foot launched, all you connect to is a speed bar attachment. But again, you'll refer to your owner's manual because each wing is a little different. But a regular foot launch, yes, goes right to the speed bar attachment.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was actually pretty
Yeah.
worried about that. You know, because I didn't have to pull the A's on this, and I had no idea how much harder it was going to pull back on my arms in a sitting position versus a kind of a taking off running position for a foot launch that you would do. And I was, 'cause I've had shoulder surgery a couple times. I'm worried about tearing that labrum and how far my arm's going to flex back. The first time I kited my Mojo, 'cause I started out with my Mojo wing, my A-rated wing that I got 1.5 years ago. The first time I kited that, I realized that wasn't really going to be a problem. Occasionally there's a little tug. It's kind of hard when the prop wash first hits the wing. But for me, it was not an issue. Once I realized that, then it gave me the confidence to really give it the gas and hold on to that and go. And not once have I felt my hands go back and hit the hoop yet. I've had several people ask me about hoop flex. Now, when I say that, I'm flying the retractor trike. That's what I bought for my Parajet. When I left class, I was not able to fly that in class. Weather conditions didn't cooperate long enough for me to get my taxi practice with good winds. But I was able to take it home and do my taxiing on a runway in the front yard, and it just went super easy. Once the wing came up, that little retractor trike, I kited the wing a couple times. I felt like I got a little light and one of my wheels lifted up. So one of my back wheels lifted up a little bit. So at that point, it was already getting dark, and I decided, let's do a good equipment check. And, so the next morning I did a good equipment check, and I was able to fly it basically a day later. And I got that video. I was going to plan on sharing it, some of it, if that'll work without the echo. But I did get one flight in this morning with my new retractor trike, and man, I love it. It's just like Doug Martin was saying. There's hardly any difference in the dynamics of foot launch flying. I don't feel any, much less lift or takeoff. I really feel like once you put the front wheel in, that it just it flies just like foot launch. I had to adjust my hang points. I figured that out after the first taxi, and after I adjusted my hang point, because I put on a little weight after I broke my leg, plus the retractor trike is 20 pounds as well. Then the front wheel came off the ground, and I was able to climb out no problem. You can see me coming in here.
Yep.
Now, with the addition of how much does the retractor trike weigh, Brian? Can you use your standard wing and everything with that? Oh, Brian just walked away.
Yeah, I think he said it was
He's got 22 pounds.
Yeah, and it's a
22
general.
pounds on retractors.
There are
Well,
three
nothing.
versions of
You
it.
can-
It
you
depends
can
on the
fly
wheel
your-
you have. So
Fly your standard wing.
they have a real lightweight wheel set. Mine's only 16 pounds. If you go to the
Nice.
bigger wheel set, it's 20. I think the beach wheel set's about 27. So
Okay, yeah, mine's 21 point something pounds.
well, I'm a weight weenie. I went tubeless. I went with the lightweight wheels, and I'm gone down to, it was the 19-pound one. I got down to 16. So
Now,
Well,
when you see these trikes, land, they always land with the wing going to the side. I know that if you don't trike and you just foot launch, the thought of it going down to the side, it's like, okay, I did something wrong. So tell us a little bit about how you, land and the way that the motor and everything needs to angle, and how you're supposed to set your wing down for people that don't trike yet.
Yeah, so actually there's a great video out there that I would encourage people who are interested in triking to check out. I believe it's from the Scout Paramotor guys. I believe Miro is the gentleman's name. But he has a video out that really focuses and talks about the angle on the trike so far as where the prop needs to go. And if you look at this Vertigo trike, it's really good at showing it's got a very different angle as opposed to what the retracted trike does. And so one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when you're throttling up, that prop wash is flowing over the wing. If you look at the prop angle design on the Vertigo trike, you'll notice that instead of being straight like this, it's kind of tilted back. So when you give the initial throttle, the wind and the air is blowing not at the wing, but actually at almost like a 30 or 45 degree angle above it. So short story, go to the video from Miro, from Scout, where they discuss trike prop angles, and you will see some great information that will maybe be a little bit contrary to what you would think when looking at it. So that video is what allowed me to really hone in on the Vertigo as the trike I wanted to do for training, because it does not create a prop wash issue for the wing as bad as the retracted trike and some of the trikes do that keep the paramotor foot launch in the same position as they do on your back. So one, I would encourage people to look at that video to understand the differences between the angles of the prop. Now, in regards to landing, like you see in the video, we really want to bring that wing out of the wind. So, and there's a number of reasons for that. What we typically do, or at least what I was taught to do and what I personally do and what I train to do, is that you'll bring the wing down and you're still in a taxi at that point once you're landing. And then you'll be able to kill the motor and you're steering the wing out of the wind. So you're trying to get the leading edge out of the wind so that when you're stopped and the wing is on the ground, a gust or more wind could not come back through and catch the wing and particularly maybe roll you over or give you that turtle. So, and I have had that happen to me one time before I really learned the intricacies and kind of tricks of the trade of trike flying. So as you'll see in the videos, I show and teach Brian to bring the machine down, taxi it to where you want it, and then kill the motor. And then you'll bring the wing down with one brake. And as the wing turns out of the wind, you'll kind of also turn the trike out of the wind. What that does, again, is it disables the wing in a manner that allows it to no longer be accessible to a gust that would turn you over or flip you over. And so that's the typical way that I train to land and how I was trained at One Up Adventures.
All right, it's 30 minutes past the hour. Is there any questions from the chat or the panel that we need to address?
I saw a couple questions in there, but one thing I'll say about the trike that has made it so easy to land was the power on landings. It's just, I was taught, basically, foot launch, you're 100 feet high, whatever, you're not going to make many corrections. You're not going to do anything. It's going to take energy out of the wing. You'll maintain all that energy in the wing till you get to the ground, and you have to be good at spot landing to put it down where you want to. With the trike, just kind of come in with a little throttle on, and you just slowly back off on it when you're a foot or two off the ground. And I've got some experience landing fixed wing aircraft, so that helped me with the thought of flying it to the ground with power. So it's so much easier to land. You can come in with a little tailwind. You just come in faster. No big deal. You got wheels, ride it out.
Do you flare at the end?
A little bit, yeah. When you're coming in, I mean, you're feeling the brakes. You're adding a little brake pressure as you're starting to get closer to the ground. So you want to be able to feel that wing. You're on the throttle a little bit, and you just slowly back off on the gas until your wheels are touching the ground. I mean, I hardly ever did touch and goes, foot launching. Usually because I was always flying in no wind conditions, and you have to run your butt off to do them. I see people that are smaller and do them with a little bit of a headwind, and they make it look so easy. Me, I'm like, I'm gonna fly as long as I can fly. When I land, I'm landing, And then, but with wheels, it's so easy. I mean, my first flight today with a tractor trike, my goal was to basically see what it's like launching and landing. So touch and goes was the obvious thing to do. But I did 7 or 8 of them in about 30 minutes, man. And I'm glad I checked my hang points. There was a question in the chat about the retractor trike. If once you retract it all the way in, and I did try that on my first flight. How hard is it to get back out, or do you have to take it back out to land? Yes, you have to take it back out to land. When you retract it in, and I don't know if I have a good video showing it. I think I've got one, but probably won't do a good job sharing. Basically, when the front wheel is retracted in, it's directly underneath your feet or your knees, under your seat. There's a metal tube sticking out behind underneath the prop, and that's going to be the first thing that hits the ground if you land with the the wheel back, and it's not going to be pretty, I don't think. So all you do is with your feet, reach back around the feet pedals, and then use your leg muscles just to push it right back out. Super easy to do, and then you put your feet on it and land. So it really doesn't affect the dynamics of how it flies very much. I felt like on my very first flight, it was a little bit boaty, but that's because I went back to my mojo probably versus flying my Spider. So the next step is to try my Spider on this retractor trike and see what I think. But it doesn't add enough weight that it puts me out of I have to get a bigger wing, thank goodness.
Hey, Sean, there's a bunch of questions in the chat. I said that earlier, but my thing was on mute. So Shannon West wanted to know, Doug Martin, was your accident due to paramotoring? And then there was how much, Doug, go ahead and answer that one. And then I get the other question here.
It was related to paramotoring. It wasn't a good evening, but I'm back at it. So.
All right. How much does the retractor trike cost?
Retail $1,600.
All right. And we already talked about the weight. I'm just scrolling back through here. I had to go all the way back to the top because there was a couple that I seen. And I thought you guys were ignoring me. Apparently I muted myself. You said I never sounded better though. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, for the record, Brian, for the record, I have foot landed my retractor trike 4 times just to make sure I could do it. But
really?
You can come in regular foot, keep the wheel back enough. I can foot drag it. It's amazing.
What? You
have to know it's there, but you can actually foot land the retractor trike if you had to.
Dude, I got a background in engineering. I'm trying to find a picture, but that strap that holds the front, the 2 straps in the back, solid, man, no worries. The strap in the front, there's an eye bolt. You can adjust the tension of it, and right at that's the weakest point. Your seat hits right against it. My thought is, if that strap breaks, the only thing you have left is the 2 straps on the back that the back of the frame are attached to. So if I'm flying this way, basically my front wheel can fall and hang straight down, and there's nothing you do about it. And if it does, that metal bar from the tractor trike is going straight into the prop, so you're going down.
It is.
So you're if that happens, if that one strap breaks, your prop's going to break, and you're going to have to land with this thing down. I see it as a weak point, and I'm going to reinforce it with a safety cable myself.
Well, for the record, I'm flying the SkyMax. The SkyMax is the cable to the front part of it, but it has 4 Velcro straps on each corner. So it's supported in all 4 corners of the frame, and then the cable set is there as the main tension on it. So I feel a little better knowing it has 4 attachment points other than that one. But
yeah, I don't feel too comfortable in mine. I'm always going to be thinking about it, what's going to happen when it breaks. So I know I'm going to add some sort of secondary safety strap to mine. I'm sure that's going to make a video at some point. But I've taken some video of my concerns with this one, with that particular part of the design. And I've done what I could in adjusting the strap to mitigate that pressure. But that being said, it's a weak point. And if that one singular weak point fails, it's probably going to be a bad day for a landing, So
do we know if any of these retractor trikes or these clip-on type of trikes have failed? Because I haven't heard of any of them failing or breaking.
No, that's me overthinking stuff. I'm being honest with you. It's me overthinking things as an engineer. That's the type of person I am. I overanalyze things. When I went down to aviator train, man, I was nervous about flying under a bed sheet. And when I found out how many pounds each one of those riser lines will hold, my fears were alleviated. But I know that that's a weak point on this. And just based on the dynamics of how paramotors fly, if that front strap breaks, the only thing holding it up is the back two straps, and it's going to pivot down and just hang by gravity. So, it's something to consider. I'm sure the designers have thought about it, and for sure, I'm going to reinforce it myself personally. Somebody says zip ties, duct tape. Yeah.
You said, yeah.
It's a trade-off. I mean, you can spend thousands of dollars and get a dedicated trike that has, more robust welds and, heavier duty equipment. It's going to be more reliable, safe. Or you can spend a little less money and adapt your gear that you already have that wasn't designed to be a trike into a trike. And that's basically what it is. They've made this frame. A lot of people are making their own. And this Parajet system, even though the most 185s are on plenty of trikes, was not initially, it was designed to be a foot launch unit, right? The Parajet Maverick. So, you get, there's trade-offs. I don't have the A assist. I have to hold my A's. It's cheaper and it's lightweight. It flies much more like foot launch. So, I mean, I think, it's one of those things in life that, you get to kind of have to, pick your better. What do you want the most of? You want safety, or you want performance, or you want a sports car, or you want a, Cadillac. So.
Well, I just what Brook had said with training on a fixed frame, high hang point. I got a chance to do both. And if you're going to teach somebody how to launch a wing, how to taxi, how to get under everything and make it nice and stable, by all means, a high hang point, frame style paramotor or trike is a better teaching tool. In flight, having the weight shift and everything available is fantastic. And that's the one thing I really did miss when I was flying the framed units. Now I'm in the process of looking for a tandem unit myself, and that'll be a full frame setup. So again, it's just slightly different, but for training purposes, by all means, I think your first 10 hours should be on a fixed frame trike.
I have one question real quick though. I know that when you're doing a launch on a trike, there's a lot of pressure on the hoop. Are there some paramotors that you would not recommend putting a retractor trike on because of the hoop, and why?
Anything
Brook.
titanium is fine.
Brooke,
There's a lot of trikes out there you got to watch out for. If it has carbon spars, if you can walk around the back of your trike and flex any bit of that cage, the back of your paramotor or trike, if that cage flexes by hand, I think you've got a potential issue. Again, that's why all the trikes I use are the Vertigo or Fly products, because if you look at the cage on it, it's so beefy. And if, for instance, if you look at the Fly products units that are foot launched, but they switch over where you can convert them, they have adjustable straps that hook up to the cage and tighten down to the frame. So I think there is an inherent design in all the foot launch paramotors that exposes a risk of cage flex. Does that mean there are some out there that don't flex? Yes, those are probably the titanium ones or the stronger ones that are out there. But ultimately, each cage out there needs to be tested. If a dealer sells you something and says it can fly with a trike, that doesn't mean it won't flex. Our good buddy James Sutherland was sold a trike from a dealer. I don't know who the dealer was. I don't know the brand of trike, but it was a trike in general, and it was flexing and breaking props and cages immediately. So I think you should look at your equipment and make those purchases and decisions with as much information as possible. But any foot launch paramotor probably has some tendency to have cage flex and that's where I would put some energy into figuring out what you need to do there.
Is there some place that we can go to ask? We can ask you, is that correct? If we have a paramotor that we want to convert over to a retractor trike, would it be wise to get up with you, Brooke?
Yeah, at the same time, it's always wise to stick by the manufacturer's suggested stuff. So if you're buying a retractor trike, which I like to purchase mine from Sky Sports USA or from my trainer if I were a student, if you look at their website, they're going to tell you what it fits. So I like to stick with the recommendations. I like to stick with what they're made to do. And I like to stick with what the recommendations are from the manufacturers. So while you can modify and make your own stuff, if you're going to get a recommendation from me, it's going to be what the manufacturers say, because I basically follow the rules by the book.
Yeah, that's a very good point, man. I just literally got in the trikes. I've already had 2 people ask me, you think we can convert that retractor trike to fit my unit? I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, already, and they know what my background is. Like, oh, you know, somebody can weld, it's just not worth it. In my opinion, for something that you're flying, if it's a motorcycle going down the road or something, that's another thing. But if you're in the air, I think aviation has to be held to a little higher safety standard. For me, in my life, I prefer to have that extra safety.
Absolutely. Any other questions in the chat?
Not yet. If I did, I missed it.
Want to say thank you very much to Kent Stamey, dropped $20 into the super chat, and also Geriatric PPG dropped $10. We appreciate you very much. The money that you donate, we just bring it back and we get gifts, and we send them out back to you. And that's why we do the spinning wheel of winning things. So we thank you very much. Yes.
Hey, Sean, you said who? Kent Stamey? I never heard of that guy. Is he new?
I know. I think he's kentstamey.com, and you can check him out. He said, "Hello, pair fam, and thanks, Hey Bale, for coming to NC and not stopping by." Ha ha.
Yeah, I got a few of those too, man. I got my wingman is in North Carolina. I need to just go spend like 2 weeks in North Carolina flying with people. Seriously, but life gets busy. I'm sorry, and I will definitely try to hit you up next time through.
Hey Brian, if I get somebody to watch my dogs, I got the 24th to the 29th off, just so you know. I mean, if I could just find my neighbor to come over to let my dog out a couple times, or dogs, I can make them outside dogs. I'm saying,
come on, man, come to Waldan Field. I got wheels. We got a couple planes maybe. We got a runway, but afternoon thunderstorms in Alabama ain't much better than Florida, though, man. It's hit or miss every afternoon.
We got a $10 donation from Bradley Beck, and Will Fly says, because Shane and Brian are wearing cool T-shirts.
That is true. I should have worn mine, but I didn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, got him.
Appreciate the shirt, Will, no doubt.
Very cool.
That's what we call a slow burn. It just keeps giving and giving.
But a little bit more about the class and the facilities that he put me in. It was a great LZ. It was right on a river. It was in a valley. There's lots of other people flying paramotors and hot air balloons in the area. It's just a great location. You can bring your white water gear. You can bring your fishing gear. There's RV hookups on right beside the airstrip for 30 and 50 amp units. So I think Brooks got it worked out where camp is included in your cost of training. Just a great place, great people, and I don't think you're gonna go wrong getting into paramotors. Definitely getting the wheels was kind of on my to-do list for the last year. It shouldn't have taken me so long, honestly. A year ago when I broke my leg, what's the date? The 14th? Yeah. 4 more days will be my 1 year anniversary, by the way. I'll be dropping a video.
Wow, already? That is
1 year later. Hay
insane
bale
how
kicking
quick.
1 year later.
Wow.
But
Hey, Torqued
Been a
Off
lot
just
this year,
donated
man.
$20. Sorry,
I'll never.
Torqued Off just donated $20. I don't know if you guys can hear or did hear.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Torkroff. We appreciate you. Also,
Thank
too,
you,
I saw in
guys.
the chat, Nick Griffith said, if I use a trike, I would buy the stabilizer bar for cage flex. Most manufacturers have them. So what is a stabilizer bar for cage flex? Does anybody know?
Yeah, so you'll see, and I wouldn't say most manufacturers have them. I would say there are a few out there, because I don't see them on the majority of the units that I use or any of the stuff I've seen in the last year. But basically, you've got your hoop, and there's a bar that'll go across in the back. James Sutherland had to manufacture his own version of it just to stop his cage from flexing. And I think some manufacturers have just realized, hey, if we add a support bar here across the hoop, it can help for these guys who are doing trike transition. So again, I don't necessarily see it as a widespread option on most units, but I do think it is an option on a few that you do see out there.
No, when you said it goes across the back, does it go across the back like where the prop is, or how does that
No,
work?
imagine like an additional spar that comes out from the frame and basically spans from one side of the hoop circle across the other, but located forward enough so that the prop is not hitting it. I don't have access to a picture I'd show you, but I believe PAP has a good one on theirs.
Yeah.
PAP, I believe, on James's unit has one. I don't think theirs is actually an addition. It's part of the actual unit in general. But it's just a spar that spans across the circle instead of at angles out. It's across the whole circle, close to the radius.
Yeah, I had several trike people point them out to me at these fly-ins, and I was not a trike pilot. Hadn't been paying a whole lot of attention to the different trike designs out there, and but they were pointing them out. They were pretty proud of them. So apparently they offer a lot more support for the manufacturers that put that in their design anyway. I'll definitely be looking at some more trikes. Tandem might be my future. My main thing is my dad sees me flying these paramotors. He flies fixed wing. I think he's always kind of wanted to do it, but the thought of, he can't foot launch, carry that kind of weight on his back. And I tried to get him into trikes initially, but he thought it was too much work to lay out the wings and stuff versus just get in the plane and go. He seen me flying around on this other trike, and I think he's getting a little bit more interested in it. So I'm going to try to, push him if I can. If he'll get one, then I can get him in the air on one. That'd be awesome, man. Maybe even send him up there to Brook to train, or bring Brook down here.
I'm coming down there because I want you guys to train me on some other flying stuff.
Heck yeah, man. Bring your hot air balloon, dude. We'll have a big day.
Torqued Off donated 20, and DP donated some also. Would he donate $10? Thank you so much, guys. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah.
We're rolling up on 8 o'clock now. I still want to talk with you guys because this is great. How long do you guys have to talk about trike transition today?
A little while longer.
A while longer? Okay, because I know
Of
that.
course.
Okay, because I know that JP has to go, and because you guys are so generous with your donations, we're going to be giving away 2 T-shirts today. So thank you very much, guys. You're really helping us out. And whenever JP is ready to spin, just go ahead and spin whenever you're ready. We're going to just take the first 2. Make sure you guys go over to clearproptv.com and fill out that form. Let us know that you won a T-shirt tonight. So thank you for everyone that's donated. Ken Stamey, Geriatric PBG, Bradley Beck, Will Fly, Torqued Off, DP. You guys have helped generate a couple of T-shirts to give away. So thank you. So go ahead and spin the wheel as we continue to talk. with Brian Haybill Waller and Brooke Sheffield, PPGpirate.com.
Hey, real
I have a
quick.
question. Oh, sorry.
Real quick, I just wanted to say Jim CR120, met him again at Melbourne Beach, where a lot of the guys from Aviators, Eric Farewell and all them were at the beach the other day, I believe Friday, and Jim got his first beach flight in, and apparently it went very well. I had to leave before it happened because I couldn't watch, and I'm just kidding. But I did leave before it happened. But yeah, he got his first flight in. I just want to say congratulations.
Yay! Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is from Brooke. This is from Brooke and Brian. Did you ever turn over the trike? Taking off.
Yeah.
Landing.
No, taking off. If you need to be choosing proper conditions, if you're not making the right decision on conditions, I guess that's something that could happen to you. But no, I've never had any issue with taking off and doing that because I don't fly in really, really high winds.
What are the best winds to fly trike, do you believe, Brooke?
Well, again, I'm a mountain flyer, so my wind conditions would be a little bit different than others. But I would say in general, if we're assuming that we're on flat ground and we're just talking about the maneuvering on the ground, I'm a 6 to 8, probably at the most. When you're getting to 10 and 12 miles an hour on the ground, that's when the trike can be turtled over, or if you don't have a really low center of gravity, or it's not a very heavier trike, you could have issues, especially if you have a large wing. So, if you're in Florida where it's flat land and the winds are laminar, yeah, you can take a little more wind. And when you do pull that wing up, the trike does have wheels, so it can roll backwards. But I choose probably 6 to 8 miles an hour as my max.
So it's better to go with no wind at all, right?
Well, especially for newer pilots, yeah, because no wind at all, basically you can point that trike and that wing in any direction, and all you got to do is just go.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel real quick so we can see who wins these t-shirts, and we will continue our podcast as long as Brian and Brooke want to talk. So who's going to win? And also too, guys, don't forget, if you want to pre-order your Paramotor calendars, go to paramotorcalendar.com, go to tv.com.
Mainly.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh, the guy shows up for the first time ever, and he's gonna win.
Oh, and I capitalized wrong. Ignore my typing error there.
Oh man!
awesome. Congratulations, Matt.
Mainly Paramotors. He was actually on our show at one time and talked to us about his Mainly Paramotors. We need to talk with him more too. Find out what's going on with him.
Yeah, I hope to go visit him in August after Moonshiners, man. That's my goal, is to go all the way up to Maine with the camper.
That's a long trek. Well, I mean, it's not too far if you think about it. I mean, where we are in Tennessee, we're almost there.
Nah, man.
We're almost there. I mean, might as well take your Paramotor and fly from Moonshiners all the way up there.
A couple 18-hour books on tape, you're there, man.
Exactly. Mainly Paramotors motors. Make sure you go over to clearproptv.com, fill out that form, let us know that you won a t-shirt. And this is episode 76 with Brian Waller and Brooke Sheffield. We're going to spin the wheel one more time for the next winner, but don't go anywhere, guys, because we are going to continue to talk to Brian and Brooke as long as they want to about paramotor transitions. And also we're taking all your questions and hopefully answering them. So who's going to win this spin, guys?
Can't stay me.
Shannon West.
DP.
Shannon West.
It's gonna be deep.
Oh, GP.
Oh,
Maybe
you got a leg up on.
Yeah, he may be the newest pilot in the group, man.
Yeah, congratulations, DP, the newest pilot. Even though he is a foot launch, ppgfootlaunch.com, he decided to foot launch and not trike. DP, I put the username and password, or the ID and password for this meeting. Anybody that wants to join us, go ahead and join us for the second hour for the after show. But it's going to be continuing to talk about the trike transition. Congratulations, DP. Make sure you run over to clearproptv.com, fill out that form. Anybody, we're not going to spend any more, but if you guys want some free stickers, go to clearproptv.com, fill out the form. This is episode 76, and say you won free stickers. Yes, you get free stickers by just saying that you won and you fill out the form. How about that? I mean, is that the craziest thing ever?
Crazy. JP, we gotta do a group shot.
Oh, good call, Linda. Thanks.
That's why I'm here, babe.
All right, let's go ahead and do our thumbnail. See our thumbnails?
Yes,
Yeah, right there.
thumbnail.
Right there, right there, and right there. And
There you go, Doug.
if you want to be on this thumbnail, hurry up and jump on so you can be part of the thumbnail.
Yeah, it's huge. This is like.
Hey, Brooke, look at smile.
Right
Brooke, cheeseburger. Ah! There we go. Cheeseburgers.
Perfect.
Actually, we should say paramotors. Why am I saying cheeseburger? How about paramotor?
Oh,
Gosh.
Wait, did
Paramotor. then we're saying paramotor.
Did you get it? We have to do it
You
again.
want to hear something funny?
Okay, go ahead.
Let's have the whole group sing "Happy Birthday" again.
Oh, no.
Well, let's
Yeah.
refer to the last time that we did that. Hey, David Perry just jumped on DP PPG foot launch. You want to do another thumbnail real quick since we got DP on?
I got time for one more. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Ka-ching.
Oh, hell, I even got the shutter sound, man. I tell you.
Now we know for sure that it popped up there. All right. So we are in part 2. This is the after show. You guys are more than welcome to jump on. I know JP has to leave. We thank you, Mr. Senior Network Engineer, for all the work by putting your name in there. So make sure you guys go over to ppgjp.com or jptulo.com. Check him out. Yep. Subscribe to his channel. Check out his TikTok, because we got a TikTok famous people here.
There's a lot of people hopping on TikTok recently. I know Aviator Shed just started an account. Flight Test, Buddy RC, it's picking up momentum. And I don't know of anybody else that of note that is worth mentioning that started a TikTok account.
JP, I did find a new TikTok channel. It's pretty awesome. It's called ppgshane.com.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Right.
He's an up and comer.
Up and comer.
Oh,
if I can just get my cat to swap my genitals, I'll be there in no time.
Hey.
It's all it takes is one.
Yeah, right. One genital or one cat?
Well, the more genitals, the more.
I made a TikTok account, but I haven't really done anything with it. I guess I need to throw some stuff up on TikTok.
Yeah,
I mean,
Grandpa, you better get on it.
I mean, but really, who wants to be a grandpa fly a paramotor? How not fun is that, right?
It just takes a few short clips. That's what makes it so awesome. All it takes is a 10, 20-second clip. Doesn't take any time, not much effort. Just throw something together, put it on it. If it flops, whatever. And the more content you have, it snowballs. So it's just for fun.
Sure.
So,
awesome.
Well, thank you.
All right, guys.
We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure. I will see you on, I don't think there's any good shows on tomorrow. So whenever the next good show is, just kidding.
It looks like you got a new call sign according to Will Fly there. It looks like you're going to be TikTok Tulo.
TikTok Tulo. Oh, I kind of like it.
Ooh.
I like it.
You're going to have to get your own .com. I'm not going to give TikToktulo.com. All right. That's all you, brother, man.
Third one's on me.
Yeah, third one's on you, bro.
All right, guys. I'll catch you on Shane's show tomorrow. Take her easy.
All
Peace.
right. Night, JP.
Good night, JP.
John Wayne's in the house. Welcome, John Wayne. Good to see you, brother.
Boy.
So
How y'all doing?
Doing good. Now you trike also. You got that trike extension for your little paramotor. Have you been able to fly that lately?
Yeah, well, I flew it once, but I
Yeah.
got to make some adjustments on that hang point because I came down pretty flat.
And that's not a good thing, right? Coming down flat. So Brian and Brook, when you come down on a paramotor, what angle are you supposed to come down in, and how are you supposed to check your hang points, and what's the difference between that and foot launching?
Well, you want the hang point in regards to where the propeller is in relationship to the ground the same. So you basically want the same stuff flying. You want it to look the same, and you've got to do the same hang point check you would do for your foot launch as well.
yeah,
But again,
And-
like I said, those videos that Miro put together, I think really help you understand the hang point in relationship to where the prop line, thrust line should be, because that can be a little bit confusing when it comes to the ground and taking off in relationship to a foot launch.
yeah, and we checked the track that he set me up in, and based on the weight and everything, we knew the front wheel was going to come off first. We knew exactly how it was going to handle. And with my trike, when I got home, it was a new gear. I'd never been on it, and I wasn't sure. I took it out there. I started taxiing it, and I probably should have done a hang test on it before I even taxied it. I wasn't planning on flying. But I got up there, I got the wing up, and I've got video of it. And once I got it under control, got my speed up there, I felt it getting a little light. And as I was making a correction, I got really light on one side, and my back left wheel came up. And I said, well, I'm going to do a good safety check on this thing before I fly it, make sure everything's still good and tight and whatnot. And at that point, I did a hang test. And sure enough, we got a four-wheel drive hoist or whatever, overhead hoist. And I was able to, my dad using a control, basically just lift me straight up. And my back wheels came off the ground about 3 inches before my front wheel lifted. And that's not where you want to be on a trike. When you're lifting up, you want that front wheel to come up first. And now with a tractor trike, I was able to use my feet pressure against the front wheel and push out on it and hold up on the front wheel. So I adjust my hang point forward 1 notch. I have never checked my hang point on my Parajet since training in November of 19. Basically, I bought new gear. They set me up in it. The hang point wouldn't change. But when I broke my leg, I put on some weight. And between the weight I put on and the 20 pounds I hung from the bottom, I'm pretty sure it was enough that my hang point wasn't right. So I changed it. I moved it forward 1 notch, moving my weight back further, therefore bringing the front wheel up a little bit higher. And sure enough, the front wheel came off the ground a couple inches when we did the hang test before the back wheels. And that's how I flew it. And sure enough, when I looked at the side cut video of my dad taking, the angle was really good coming in. But with the retractor trike, there's because of the strap that holds the front on mine, if you don't have everything really tight, there's a little bit of slop in that front wheel moving up and down. So you can use your feet to kind of lift it and lower it. So yeah, I mean, you definitely want to make sure your back wheels are coming down first, and they're the last ones to leave the ground when you're taking off.
If you come down and it's flat, like John Wayne said, that's still okay, but not optimal.
Well, ultimately, the first thing that needs to be correct is the prop thrust line in flight. If the prop thrust line in flight is correct, that should, with a properly manufactured unit, already have the front wheel not touching first on landing. The back should come down first. If for some reason your thrust line in flight is correct and you're still landing with the front wheel down, I believe there's something else you need to look at that point, because if you can't get those two things correct, prop thrust line and back wheels first, there's a design flaw, I'd imagine, or something else in the equipment you might want to take a look at. But ultimately, those are the two things that need to be correct to have proper flight and proper landing.
I just wanted to say something about that flat landing.
Yes.
My trike and my paramotor are both MacFly, and they have a video about putting it together and everything. And they tell you how far forward to move your regular, just to move it for the trike. And I fly with my motor, I mean, perpendicular. A lot of folks have it back just a little, but I set up real straight in my seat. And so that I got a result that I probably should have expected, which was a flat landing, because that's pretty much how I fly. A lot of folks like to be leaned back just a little, but I don't. And so I moved it what they said, and I took off pretty flat and landed pretty flat, which is how I launch. So I guess it worked just as exactly like they planned.
Do you have to flare if you're going to come down flat like that? Do you have to flare a little bit more? Do you keep power on a little bit longer? How does that work if you come down flat?
You're asking the wrong person. I got one flight. Okay. All I can tell you is I killed the motor and it wasn't any problem landing it.
Okay.
I just rolled a lot.
Gotcha.
You would think extra flare would help, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Brook's muted.
Your flare, the deeper you get into the flare, bringing the wing back towards parachutal should get you out of that flat phase and drop those back wheels down. So a lot of the times we'll land on trikes under power and we don't put a lot of flare in, and we kind of cruise in like a plane might do with just wheels down and kind of flat. But you can also really dig into the flare and drop the wing back and then get that front wheel up a lot more. So you have control over the angle at which you let that front wheel come down by digging more or less flare. So when I'm coming in on the ground, I can flare it to the point where I'm in a wheelie, and I can hold the flare with throttle and basically just ride a wheelie the whole time. But say, for instance, I came in with little to no flare and just pressure and throttle, I'd be landing much flatter because I wouldn't be bringing the wing back behind me. So you've got options with the trike because you can manipulate the throttle, the flare, all together close to the ground. And you don't do that as much, at least I don't, with foot launch, because there can be more, more issues with that, basically, more consequences.
Hank Lynch in the chat said, "What angle is a proper thrust line?"
I'm looking for my prop to be completely, parallel to the ground line. I want my prop flying straight. And so you'll see, and again, if you go to Miro's video from Scout, that the orientation of the prop on the ground will have a lot to do with that in flight. And so paramotors or trikes that angle the prop back on the ground and dedicated will have a better thrust line in flight, as opposed to the ones that convert your foot launch over. At least that's what I've seen with like the Maverick versus a dedicated Vertigo. But yeah, I don't want that thing leaning too far back. I definitely don't want it leaning down. So I'm looking for it to be completely parallel with the ground, flying straight.
Okay. Let's see. Mark H, PPG trike jockey, said that his hang point, his front wheel is 8 inches above his back wheels in flight. Is that about normal?
What kind of unit is he on?
Mark, I just put the meeting ID and passcode. If you want to jump on and talk a little bit about this, that'd be really awesome if you could. If not, what trike are you on? And what I would say is
each trike is a little different. For instance, on the Vertigo, my feet are up quite a bit, probably more than 8 inches. And Brian can speak to that because he was like, man, it feels like my feet are up a lot. But when he flew by, the prop was perfectly where it needed to be. So the how far up your feet are will have to do with the relationship of where the prop angle is on the unit to start with. And again, that's particular to each unit. And with a foot launch conversion unit, I think you're going to see that angle isn't as articulated or manipulated by the manufacturer like it is on a dedicated trike. I wish you could show if you go to Scout's videos, maybe we could screen share Miro's video. But again, for everybody listening and watching, that is the video that I used to learn about the orientation of the prop wash, and how it relates to trike flying. And that's, again, on Scout's video YouTube page.
Do you know what that is by any chance? Do you can you find that
Yeah,
link?
I can pull. I've got it right here. It's called Trike Ideal Thrust Line is the title of it under Scout Aviation. It's also Paramotor Geometry Part 36,
Hey,
Trike Ideal Thrust Line.
Okay, that
I'm going
popped
to
up
try to
first.
share something without playing it. It's just a picture. Do you get the
Yeah,
audio
look at
loop?
that.
Do you get the audio loop, or am I okay?
You're
You're
good.
good.
Yeah, I don't hear
Okay,
you.
so
Don't
I'm
hear
not going to play this video. I'm just going to scroll through it. So this is at a constant RPM and constant brake pressure. You can see the motor, the prop is vertical, and how much higher the front wheel is than the back. So
Exactly. That's perfect right there. That's perfect right there.
So that is it. And I will go forward to the next. I know they don't play well, so let me just try to get the. One more frame here. All right, so my wheels are touching down right there. And you can see basically the angle of the motor or the prop is normal to the ground or vertical, and how much higher my front wheel is. I actually thought it was too high because this is the first time I've ever been in a trike. I was like, man, I feel like my front wheel is too high, but it's better too high than too low. So
you're also in a flare there. So that brake pressure you have right at landing is articulating the machine back even more. So that's absolutely perfect. I think that's exactly what I like to see when I'm coming in, because the prop thrust line is perfect. And as you put more pressure and flare in, you're actually slowing it down and bringing the wheel up.
so here's the flare video.
Yeah, so I didn't do the sound. I just wanted to see what it looked like. But this is the video. What I'll do is I'll post a link down below in the description so you guys can take a look at it at your convenience. But this is the one that Brook is talking about. Is that correct?
Yes, this is an excellent video that will, and again, Brian and I really saw this when you took off on the Vertigo. If you look at this picture here, the thrust line goes straight back at the wing. If the thrust line is angled above the wing just a little bit, you don't get all this wing deforming. And if you go back to the video on Brian's training, if you look at that Mac Paracharger, when he brings it up, it never balls up. It has perfect form, and the whole wing is open as it comes through the power band. Now, as soon as he jumps on the retracted trike, which has a different thrust angle lower to the ground, it makes the wing ball up and do all this crazy stuff before it regains shape after it exits the power band that's being influenced by the prop wash. And so it's pretty obvious once you see these things in motion.
And is this something that you would want like your students to watch before they go to your class for the first time, just to get an understanding of what this is about?
I don't, well, if it's a trike transition student, 100% yes. If you're already familiar with paramotors and you understand the nuances of the fundamentals of thrust line and stuff like that, then this video will immediately allow you to understand the nuances and differences between trike design in regards to thrust line. And so, yeah, it's just going to make you a smarter pilot, whether you're on trike or not. Every one of these guys' videos has been wonderful, I think. So, yeah, I would pay attention to it.
Cool. Is there any questions in the chat or in the panel?
I do not have.
I just want to say I love the fight scene that this dude had with Matt Damon in The Bourne Identity. And he got that pen shoved down his hand and just rips it out and keeps coming at him. Sorry. Maybe that was an inside joke.
Maybe it was a joke you should have kept to yourself and leave the jokes up to me.
So,
Oh, we got Mark H, PPG Trike Jockey on. Welcome. You're on mute. You're on mute. Just in case you did not know you're on mute. There you go.
I'm on mute. I had the video going, so I didn't want it echoing for a while. So, yeah. So
I've been enjoying your comments, Mark. On the videos.
Good job. Good job on the trike.
I like it. It was, I don't know. I feel like I was pretty well prepared after the last year of doing these shows and talking to people, getting in the trikes, what they expected, what they went through.
You did great. You looked like you had.
I went there. I had pretty good foot launch training, and when I went to Brook, he set me up for success with the right gear and the right location. I went home with confidence. I taxied the wing 11 times, and 10 of them were successful. So I felt pretty good when I got home. I was a little nervous about not flying that retracted trike, man, but when I got home and I got that first taxis under my belt, I felt good. This morning I flew it, man. I'm totally in love with the trike already, man.
No, when you said that you did taxiing, did you taxi just with the retracted trike and no wing, just to feel what it feels like? Is that what you did?
That's the first thing I did. I did that in Tennessee up there training. I attempted one taxi with the wing in Tennessee, and the winds were too shifty, and I had some riser lines getting the prop while I was dying. I heard some ticks. I was like, let's wait till we get to a good location, a good weather. And that's what I did. I'll try to share. I don't know. So we'll see if this works.
When you share, if you just talk and nobody else does, it's fine. It's just when somebody else talks, it echoes.
Is that right? So I did the hang test. There's the hanger there. That's the setup we did for the hang test. So we hung it and whatnot, and then I went out and got ready to fly. This video is not done processing. Let's see. I'm gonna give this a shot. Let's see how it goes.
The flyby. If it feels good, I'll go ahead and probably do a touch and go. Goal is here today, preferably if everything goes perfect the way I plan, is to do probably 3 or 4 touch and goes here.
Not loud enough,
look
is
at
it?
how the wheels come up and off the
Oh,
ground.
we can hear it. Oh, we can hear it.
And call it the day. You got this. When you go, you gotta go. All right, let's see where she lifts off at. It feels pretty good.
Very first time flying a trike at home. It's so easy to do touch and goes. It's just crazy, man. Got a little bit of an uphill on my runway in this direction. You have to get a little bit more speed, go up the hill.
Well, that's successful. Launching the landings.
All right, let's go back and let's watch
order my retractor trike, and
We got a couple good first views here.
let's try not to damage any riser lines and kite this bad boy.
This is my
to the
very
end of the
first
taxiway,
taxi at
the
home.
end of the runway. That would be my goal for sure today. When you go, you got to go.
Look at that oscillation, man. Huge.
Overcorrecting. Watch your speed. You got to get the speed up.
Anyway,
Not too much
I
speed.
take it all the way to the end of the runway, and then I do it again.
Time.
But
So
this is the thing about the trikes is on this next, on my second taxi. Yeah, awesome wing lay down. On my second taxi here, I actually dropped the A's on my left hand. Watch my left hand. That's why I moved the picture to the top right corner. Watch my left hand. As soon as I gun it, I drop the left A's, and then I just reach back there and grab them and go. And the wing still straightens itself out. Anyway, I can't hear anybody else talking, so I think maybe.
No, we were quiet on purpose so it didn't echo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, but that was my first flight. I got home and I, Brook sent me home. I was confident I could taxi a wing. I had never done it on my lightweight gear compared to his, heavier duty, his Vertigo. But the first time I got the wing up, I was able to control it. I got that bit of confidence, and then I did my safety checks, hang point test, and then I flew it, and it flew like a dream. I mean, it flew just like I expected it to. I was a little nervous the first time I slid that thing all the way in, and I was like, am I going to be able to slide this out? If I'm not, it's going to be hard to land. And sure enough, yeah, there's nothing to it, man. You put your feet behind it, you slide it right out, and made a perfect land. And I made 7 or 8 of them, and I finally landed. And my dad was at the other end for the last landing. My dad was at the other end of the runway. He was filming with the camera, and I said, I'm going to land as far as I can. I basically spot landed it on my last landing, and I taxied it all the way to the end of the runway and laid the wing down right in front of him like a pro, man. And that gave me confidence. I'm ready to go fly it again. I'm ready to go fly it tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow morning the weather is going to be good. The other biggest thing I noticed about trikes is you can fill up the gas tank all the way and you don't even know it. You take off with a full tank. You can do a cross country. And I thought I took off a lot of gas a year ago when I broke my leg. I took off with 9 liters of gas. Normally I take off with 5 or 6 liters with my Moster 185, just because I don't fly a long period of time. My average flight's 30 or 45 minutes. But I took off with 9 liters of gas this morning in the trike, and I didn't even know it. So
The other thing is
nice.
the other thing is if the wind changes and you have to go all the way to the other end of the field, just put your wing in your lap, fold it to your sap, just shoot on over, and everybody else is walking over there. You're just already setting up. By the time they get over there, you're already off and running or off and going.
I'm imagining if you're a trike pilot too, you see all these foot launch pilots, they're out there laying their wings out, they're watching the wind socks, like, crap, I got to move my wing a little bit. You're a trike pilot, you're like, just gun it and go,
Well,
a little tailwind, a little crosswind, you can handle a bit of it, right?
Yeah. Unless it's a heavy crosswind, then it's like, not so good.
There is one odd trike thing that I probably experienced that you guys probably haven't, and I'm sure to be true on any trike, but this winter we had enough snow that I threw the skis on my trike and did a lot of taxiing with it and stuff like that. I noticed that on launch, you do get more drag from it. In flight, you really don't notice them that much. However, if you are launching in relatively deep snow, when that trike comes up off the snow, if one of those rear skis hits snow and the other one doesn't, the whole trike wants to swing sideways and come back again. So if you ever do try skis on a trike, make sure the snow is packed down enough to where one of the skis doesn't drag, because that's a little on the that was a little hard on the ego. So
I want to put skis on the trike and go out into the lake and see if I can ski in the lake with the skis. How fun would that be?
well, I took the trike around the neighborhood and stuff with the skis on it this winter, and took it down the snowmobile trail, and the guys on the snowmobiles were like, who and what is that guy, as I was going past on a paramotor. So yeah.
How fast can you go?
You know, anything over about 25 is just scary as all get out.
I bet.
Just does this. So if you have the paramotor on your back and you're on a bicycle, about 45, 47.
You done that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anything
Damn
more
it.
than that's pretty sketchy. So yeah.
Hey, you know how these guys are all trying to set records on one wheels by seeing who can get them to go the fastest, even though they're only designed to do 17? They need a paramotor on their back.
Like that guy on the bicycle.
Challenge.
Oh, man.
Not sure I want to accept that challenge. Huh.
I've seen them on golf carts, you know, going to the end of the LZ, you know, guys on the back of the golf cart carrying his motor, golf cart's wide open. He cranks the motor up, gives it some thrust. They speed up a few more miles an hour.
You know those skateboards with the all terrain wheels? I wonder if you get on one of those, but you have a wing on and you're kind of like foot dragging it. I wonder how fast you could go with one of those things. That'd be pretty neat to see.
That'd be different. That could be a TikTok, Grandpa.
Not me.
unless it goes sideways and then you go sideways and then
Well, you know.
turn into it.
There you go, Mark H. There's your
I'm
next.
pretty sure I'll never know what it's
Whoa.
like to put skis on my paramotor and launch in the snow, living in southern Alabama.
Yeah.
But, you know, who knows, man? It sounds fun.
You know, it really, I'm not sure flying in the winter is really fun. It's satisfying. It's an achievement. It's kind of filling a need, but overall fun, I'm not sure. So
I live up in the north too, in Ohio, and I was thinking, yeah, skis would be great. And then I was thinking, how many times have I gone like with I used to snowmobile with a friend or whatever, and you hit a snowdrift and it goes right down into the snowdrift. That's would be my concern, where all of a sudden one of the wheels, especially the front wheel, goes down a snowdrift and just goes plop overhead.
well, if you have the retracted trike and you have the real lightweight wheels, those are just high-end kid Strider wheels, and Specialized makes strap-on skis for them. So I just bought skis for a kid's trike, put them on my paramotor, and they were fantastic.
Yeah.
How big are those wheels? Yeah, I'm curious. Brian, do you have that retractor trike? Can we see how big the wheels are compared to?
Yeah, I can pull some pictures. It's a small wheel size. They offer two different wheel sizes. The diameter is not significantly different, but the width is. So the width of my wheels are probably 1.5 inches wide, diameter 10 inches, maybe 12. Let me see if I can find some picture here. I got something.
And they're tubeless, right? They don't have inner tube.
Well,
or
no,
anything?
because I have a pretty heavy mountain bike background and all that stuff. Talked to my kid. The company that makes the wheels for retracted trike also makes them for Specialized. And Specialized, the ones for the kids' bikes, the high-end ones, the spokes are hollow. So I upgraded to a set of those wheels, and then I set them up tubeless like my mountain bikes. So that way I get rid of the weight of the wheel, the tubes, the stems, and I got the lighter wheel set. But I'm kind of a weenie that way.
I'm looking for the retractor trike and wheels too. The wheels that I have
I got you.
Are pretty cool. I'll have to get those and show you here in a minute.
So this is my unit right here.
Yep, that's all mine are too. Mine are too.
So yeah, basically these are the wheels. These are the small wheels for the Parajet Maverick. There's a push button right here on the end of the wheel, and the wheel comes out of the axle with the push of a button, and then this axle comes out of this frame with the push of a button, so it breaks down into small pieces very easily. It's made to put your motor on and off in just a small period of time. Here, let's do this.
All right, well, assembly is complete. I'm happy with the strap and the way it turned out. I've yet to sit in it, so that's the next step. I've rolled it around a little bit, see how it handles. It's not really right part tries to push through and then stab into the ground, so it's not really probably designed to be pushed as much as it is to be pulled around. Either way, super lightweight, got wheels, easy to pull around.
So that's basically it.
Check it out, ladies.
Trying to see if I could find where I show that strap a little bit better. I know I took some detailed video of it.
All right.
All right, so here is the strap. I'll just play this video here.
I think I got it figured out. I'm going with the titanium tube here for sure. I've undone half of the harness here on my seat so I can get to it a little bit better. Going with this tube, and I've got the strap around it. I did a preliminary measurement and adjusted my strap here. Doubled back through the buckle nicely. And what I'm going to do with this extra strap is I'm going to go ahead and staple this. Mosquito. I'm going to go ahead and staple this to keep it from...
All right, so what I want to show you is this buckle right here. Okay. All right, so this buckle right here, you'll see at the top, I mean, this is a threaded adjustment with the jam nut. So a lot of pressure is on this point right here. Can you see my mouse? So a lot of pressure is on that point, and that's the single failure point that I'm worried about. It connects to a ring loop. This clamp connects to a ring loop on the bottom of the retractor trike, and it's what holds the front wheel up. So this entire thing is holding the weight of the front of the tractor trike, which is minimal, plus your weight. So anyway, this was a point that I was slightly concerned with, and then I will probably beef up a little bit. But that's the retractor trike. Super awesome, simple, easy to use, quick and easy to attach. It doesn't really affect your flying characteristics that much once you get up in the air. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think it's well worth the investment.
Yeah, if you get the chance, to do like a really detailed walk around, how it connects and how it breaks down, I'd really like to see that.
Next. George.
Hey guys, we're gonna jump off here, but thanks Brian and Brooke. Now I'm starting to think. I'm thinking about getting a trike.
So you can't go wrong with them. I think most people that have flown foot launch and trikes probably prefer the flying characteristics of the foot launch over the trikes, but the availability and the ease of use of the trike, you'll be able to carry more fuel, a little more gear. You got stuff, bars to strap phones to and stuff. There's a lot of, there's pluses and benefits to both sides. I could tell already, and I'm just getting into trikes.
Well, when you're not very agile, a trike sounds a whole lot better than trying to move around gracefully. That's just not something I can do.
I wanted to say thank you, Sean, for the exam, because it's really.
You're welcome.
Helps me out.
Good deal.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight, guys. Chat to you later. Thank you.
Okay.
Good night. All right. Now, Mark H., have you ever foot launched, or you've always done the trike?
I kited, but I never foot launched. I did the trike from initial stage. I was thinking of foot launch. I probably could foot launch. I'm thinking about going back, but my wife is one of those things she doesn't like foot launch. She says all you have to do is break an ankle or break a leg. So she's basically, it's like you get to fly the trike, no foot launch. So it's like, oh, please, please, please. She's like, no. So I have a you know how we had that whole show about the supportive spouse. She's supported for me to fly the trike. She's wouldn't be supportive for me to do the wheel launch. I said, well, there's this great school down in Florida. There's Aviator. They have foot launch. She's like, no, just no. So anyway, so I've done the trike ever since I started, and then I went to get a PPG 2 rating for wheel launch at Midwest PPG. And I did start out at Flight Junkies, so which wasn't for me wasn't bad. I know David doesn't like it, others don't like it, but then for me, I already had some aviation background when I was in high school. I took a ground school course, a couple introductory pilot course, and have always interested in aviation. So weather and airspaces, that type of thing, I already kind of knew. So the fact that I didn't get as much of that at Flight Junkies as the other place was not a big deal for me.
Actually, since you've trained at Flight Junkies, now you went there first. It's always good to hear people's firsthand experience at different places. So it'd be perfectly fine for you to tell us what was your honest opinion on it, and how much more did you get by going to the other school?
For me, I went to Flight Junkies, and they do a minimal ground school course, I would say. A little bit of weather, tells you about, doesn't go into depth about the weather, but tells you what the best weather to fly in. Airspace is just what's in part 103. You don't get an in-depth of, okay, here's class A, not class A, class B, class C, class D airspace. This is the pattern of a airport type of thing. The how to take off from an airport, the flight pattern, 500 feet above AGL, 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet, that type of thing. You don't get a lot of that, but the way Kurt sets up, it's cookbook. If you set up the way he says, in the weather he says to fly, you will have a perfect launch almost every time. So my launches were all perfect. The first few times he had me start up, I taxied probably for about 100 yards, 150 yards, and then watched the wing, and then it was a go, and go, and I took off and had no problems. Sure, the first time I was scared poopless, but I think everybody is. The second time, same thing. Taxied for a while on the ground, and then when it was after a while, it was a good wing for about maybe 75 yards a go. Third time he asked me, and he basically told me this afterward. He says, I can usually tell someone who gets it, and I can tell someone who doesn't get it. And sometimes they don't stay with me long enough to get them to a point where they get it. And I tell them, please come back, come back and I give free, like you say, he does do free training if you buy the equipment from him. And if you come back, he'll spend as much time. But a lot of times people go home, you have get up in the air itis, they take off and they have issues. For me, I had no issues. The third time he asked me basically, how comfortable do you feel going up without comms and trying it yourself? And I was fine. And so, like I said, it was perfect. It was a perfect takeoff and a perfect landing. And then I had a few more flights the successive days. And then I went back a couple weeks later just to fly from the field, and same thing, no problems.
And you went to another school after that, though, right?
Right.
Which
well,
school?
the reason why I went to the school is I wanted to see if I can get liability insurance. And my wife was a former insurance agent. She said, well, we need to get liability. So eventually I did. And that's another story. But I went to Midwest PPG, and I got there. And part of the in order to do PPG 2, you have to get a PPG 1 and take the PPG 1 foot launch test and do kiting. And so that evening, Dave Holcomb took me, wanted to see what I could do. So we didn't turn on the engine, but he took a tow strap and put it on one of the golf carts and attached it to the front of my trike and pulled me across the field. And the wing came up and he wanted to see how well I taxied and could handle the wing. And took it up, and it was really good for me because I got to even more fine tune the kiting of the wing. You know, when it overshoots, pull down the brakes, put it back, comes back, lift up on the hands, goes right or left oscillations, you know, the whole braking drill. Did that quite like for an hour. And then that, I think it was the next evening, he wanted to see how I set up, and I set up exactly how Kurt had showed the cookbook. And Dave would said, yeah, that's perfectly fine. And then he said, well, let's see if you know, how you take off. I took off just fine, flew around, landed just fine, came down. And at the end, he said, well, why are you here? And I said, well, for get wheel launch PPG, because you don't need any instruction, at least the flying part. I'm glad I took the ground school course over the week in terms of depth and weather. They go really into, Matt Macy goes into the depth and the weather there. He's like a weather guru. Airspaces, airplane, or not airplane, but airport etiquette, voice comms, how to do voice comms with it, and goes through all that. It's almost like a ground school course for, you know, pilots. You've probably had it at other places, aviator and that type of thing. And so over the course of that week, he said, basically, if you can come down, taxi. So what I would do is I would take off, fly, come down next to the runway, which was a airstrip, strip next to the runway, and taxi next to the runway for 100, 200, 300 yards and then take off again. He said that was he considered that a flight, because he said it takes more to taxi, more experience, more skill to taxi than it is just to come down, lay out your wing again, and take off again. So over the course of that week, I did 25 flights, and then the final flight was the morning of the Sunday at the end of the class, which was normally everybody goes up and heads for, there's 3 towers that are like 1,200 feet high, about 5 miles away. And it's a little mini cross country, go there, circle the towers, and then come back to the airport. And that was probably the best flight I've ever had. It was about 2,000 feet above the radio towers, and it was a nice cool morning. It was foggy that morning. We were waiting for the fog to lift. The fog lifted. I was the first one to take off. All the foot launchers were laying out tarps for their wings. And so Matt basically said, hey, if you're ready to go, take off. And I was gone. And by the time I was coming back, I had gone the 5 miles and come back. So it was 10 miles round trip. I was coming back to the airport, and the foot launchers were just starting to take off because of the dew and the grass and everything. And then I just flew around, low level flying through the cornfields and the tractor ruts in the cornfield, and then eventually came in, landed, and then that was it. And like I said, on the way out, Dave said, and I don't know if it's just to make me feel better or whatever, he just said, basically, you're one of the best wheel launchers I've ever had. So
awesome.
There you go. So
awesome.
So I think if you go to Flight Junkies, you're going to get up in the air. You may not get as depth training in the ground school area. And I think in the cases, it depends on the pilot, how coordinated you are, how self-aware you are, and whether the training takes. Like I said, he does, people, people do not like the way if you can get by the personality, he's not a bad guy. he does care about his students. I think he would be better if he were to be a little bit more structure in the ground school training. But his way of, if you follow the setup and follow the weather that he says to fly in for new students, you're probably going to be okay.
And don't stare at his wife's boobs. Oh, what?
That's our never trust a skinny chef Shane. He's our jokester. Speaking about jokester, you have
Oh,
any
my
jokes?
mic is on. Oh, my bad.
You have any paramotor jokes?
But
What?
but like I said, it's a monster, Fresh Breeze monster. It's 313 cc's. It's basically a Hearth F-33, which has been around in aviation for quite a while in the ultralight arena. Hey,
Go away.
hey, your Dankies!
Your Dankies in here. Eric.
Hola, cabeza,
PPGEric.com is here.
Hola.
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 PPG foot launch is here. Man, we got the whole household full, and it's about 10 till. How long are you guys able to hang out here, Brooke and Brian?
I've got to take off because I've got to be up at the farm to plant more in the morning.
All right. Well, sounds good. Thank you very much for joining us. Give us a little bit of how we can get up with you, your .coms, and all that stuff before you go.
Yeah, right now you can find me on Facebook at Brook Sheffield. You can find Red Pill Paramotor on Facebook. And right now, ppgpirate.com is how you can see some videos and stuff. And again, go over to Brian's channel and check out the great video he just did on training at Red Pill Paramotor. And you can find me here as many times as I can make it if I'm not flying. So happy to be here, and thanks for having me again as usual.
Absolutely, Brooke. Thank you so much for joining us. Definitely appreciate you, man.
Brook, man, appreciate everything, bro, for sure.
Of course.
I look forward to seeing your future students' success.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Brooke, thank you for sending me that CBD stuff that I never got. Appreciate it. It was awesome stuff, by the way.
Do you
Still waiting.
not have any?
I have never got any.
Can't you
The
tell?
U.S. mail stole that stuff.
Hey, I gotta order my stuff from Blue Moon, just so you know. Man.
Well, you know, it's hard to put cannabis products in the mail.
I don't need
anything.
I don't need anything with THC. I just need the normal stuff.
The normal CBD.
Over the
oil.
counter stuff.
Yes, you do, Shane. Yes, you do.
I'm gonna get you some CBD condoms and a mouth plug.
I'll make a video right there.
You guys have a great evening. Peace.
Peace out. Thank you so much.
Bye. Shane, you see what's going on here at Brian Waller's house?
What'd you say?
You see what's going on behind Brian Waller right now? Did you see?
I've been paying attention to those unmentionables. I don't. That looks like Shayna to me.
Aw, look at that. What a cute couple.
Aw.
Oh, beautiful.
You know though. Oh, I don't have my background on that I wanted. I was gonna say that's not as embarrassing as the background that I have, but that's not the one I want. Never mind.
Oh.
The one where I was getting drugged into the water.
Oh.
But you got to pull more left brake, man. You got to pull more left brake.
Yeah. I hear ya.
That's better, Shane.
Yeah, I look good, don't I?
Yep. Oh, there you go.
I don't see anything.
I was getting a text message I had to take care of.
Oh, okay.
I had a VIP texting me, so I had to make sure I got on top of that.
I wasn't texting you. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying if somebody and he knows who I'm talking about tries to poop in somebody's trailer.
Oh.
Oh.
They know to the deuce.
how's the jails in Tennessee? I'm just asking for a friend. Actually, you know what? I can tell you this much.
Oh boy.
I believe my daughter and my wife both have done something they weren't supposed to.
Whoa.
Oh.
There's,
no.
I can't prove it, but I just want to say
they pooped in a camper.
I think so. At one point,
I think you need to do a DNA test on the poop and make sure.
I'm not catching it. Are you kidding me?
Well, it just shouldn't be in the sink like that. That's wrong.
No. It took forever to wash down.
Had to use the sprayer, the nozzle.
Yeah, the garbage disposal was like straining.
just in case you guys don't know what's going on. Shane, what is your rule? What is your rule if we stay in your camper?
Number one rule, and the most important rule, is there's no number two in the trailer. So you pee and TP is the only thing that's going in the toilet.
Oh my God, that's just so mean.
I have to deal with that stuff.
You don't even need a toilet. You can do that outside.
Oh, I mean,
what if I got Crohn's or
throw
something,
them
dude?
outside? You just say get outside and go wherever.
No, they got to go find a porta potty or an outhouse. It's none of my problem. That's not my problem.
Oh, wait a minute. But what if that's you? And you had to go like really bad, and then you're like, oh man, I don't know if I
I go out in the woods. I go out in the woods like a bear. No problem.
What about it like bad apples there, bald bear? There wasn't any woods for you to rumble
There were
off into.
porta potties. Every morning I lightened my payload before I took flight. So
No, you didn't notice the common theme of bad apples. Every time a pile of poop, just magically appeared on the ground, they're like, Brian, red, let poop. And I was always on duty.
Duty. Little did they know it was Shane.
oh no.
Oh, I can tell the difference.
I don't know.
Oh man.
Hey, Mark H. Thank you for your story and thank you for letting us know what your stuff was. I know we tend to tangent a lot, but I just want to make sure that
that's good.
that I thanked you very much for coming on and
I'd like to show you something real quick. Let me show you something. This is my setup, and we were talking about how the line of the propeller. If you notice, when it's sitting on the ground here, the propeller is a little bit pointing. If you look from the front, it's a little bit pointing up in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So when the wing is back here, it's actually pointing up over the wing. And so when you actually in the air, the wheel comes up about 8 inches, and then the propeller is vertical to the line of thrust. Kind of like
Yep.
So it levels off.
Right.
I do not have that on the retractor trike.
That's pretty.
It's pointed straight at the wing. And the first time I got in it, I have a habit of revving the throttle, and it just messed my wing all up.
That's a lot of lights you got going on up there.
That is awesome, man.
Well, the green is on the right, the red is on the left. That's generally how if you ever look at a GA plane, they have the green on the right and red, and then the white is on the front, and has a Abrams on the top here. So,
is that the seat looks kind of like a fold down boat seat?
Yeah, it is a fold down boat seat.
Okay.
And the nice thing about it is back behind here is an ATV bag where it's big enough that I can actually stuff my stuff sack into it. So when I land, I can pull out the stuff sack and put away. And this is the Triox behind the scenes. I used to have a Power Atlas red one, which is a little bit small, but it was a little bit more dynamic. So, and then of course there's reserve.
And that has A assist on it, right? I see there.
Yes. You cannot reach. It's really hard to reach around and grab, unlike the retractor trike. And this a lot of people don't like the fly pod here. One of the things I don't like about it is that the wheel is a little bit forward, and this engine is heavy, so it tends to want to tip back on this right through here.
Okay.
And kind of
Yeah.
like with the wheel up in the air. And that's the only thing that I wish they could redesign about it. But it's really a sturdy frame. I think Rick Davies, PPG Gorilla, actually uses his for training. He says it's basically a beast, which it is. It's all chrome steel or chromoly steel in it. So
I got a question for you as far as maintenance on your machine there. I've heard that a lot of those fresh breezes, it's a lot of maintenance, and there's some people that, they're doing more maintenance and more fixing than flying. What is your take on that, real quick?
I have a friend who has probably over between 100 and 200 hours, and the only thing he's had to do on his, he's had to replace the coil, and he had to replace the silencer, the silencer part of the exhaust he had to replace. On mine, the only thing I've had to do was they have a new high ignition coil that's a little different. Mine is a newer model, so it has the high ignition coil. The only thing I've had a problem with is the original bracket was up under the engine and it cracked. So when it came off, the kill switch ground was attached to that, so it wasn't attached to the engine. So when I was coming down to land, I was hitting the kill switch and it didn't do anything. So I had to land and I reached around and just hit the choke and it just choked out the engine. And then they sent me a new mount that goes on one of the struts of the engine frame with 2 rubber bushings or whatever for vibration. And since I put that on, I haven't had no problems. I've not had any issues at all with the Fresh Breeze engine at all so far, knock on wood, in terms of maintenance.
Okay, because I had somebody ask me about Fresh Breezes today. I talked with them on the phone. So if they're listening, there you go. I asked somebody that actually had a trike from Fresh Breeze, and I hope that answered your question. So here we are at 9:02. Does everyone still want to hang out, or is everyone ready to go? Or I'm okay for another hour, unless you guys need to go.
I'm good. I'm hanging tough.
Yeah, he's drinking beer now.
Oh, that's the
He
right
started
stuff.
drinking beer 2 hours ago.
Yeah, dude. Actually, exactly 2 minutes shy of 2 hours because I started at 8:04.
That's a personal problem.
Is Mrs. Simons
it
gone
is.
tonight?
Is what?
Is Mrs. Simons gone tonight?
No, she always yells at me at 10 o'clock, so I still got an hour before I get yelled at.
Oh, okay.
I got a
That's right.
question for-
You're 10 o'clock.
Look at all you guys. We got DP in the house.
Getting a phone call.
Your thing.
I get a phone call at 10. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
What do you
Right,
have there,
yeah.
your Yankees?
Lear. Eric Lear, what's going on? You're awful quiet back there.
Just sitting here listening.
Oh,
Jesus, it's still daylight out there. What are
Hello,
you,
have noise?
next to Walter?
I know it's dark over here, dude.
Have noise. Hello.
There he
We got
is.
some daylight.
We've got you, your Yankees.
How you hear me? Because they always tell me to shut up because I am too loud.
No, no one's ever told you to shut up. Shut up. Your Yankees, we can hear you.
Brother, I just keeping busy. I bought a couple new books. Acrobatics. Something about acrobatics. Nice book. I bought 50 Ways to Fly Better.
50 Shades of what?
50 Ways to Fly Better. Brook Goldsmith. Advanced paragliding, just to understand better my wing and to be able to fly in thermals.
wow.
And I bought paragliding for beginners that we always are new people.
I like that.
Cool.
Very
I opening more my window now. The other day I flew with my windsock.
I can barely hear you.
Well, I don't try to talk too loud because you send me to shut up, and I just try to do it right.
That's not true.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, you would say that. Because
Was that Spanish swearing I just heard? What was that?
yeah, no, because he know me well. I don't want to go nasty on it. I want to keep it PG, man.
Keep it PPG rated. I gotcha.
Ah,
Yeah, your dinkies. I got a question about your background picture, man.
oh
Your
yeah.
background picture.
Oh, yeah.
The dude over your right ear, he looks like he's pretty high. And he's already got his legs out for landing.
No, they was high. He was doing like spiral and wing overs. That's Andy. Andy, and the other one is oh, I don't remember who is the other one. This one in
Leah
the
Cthulhu?
in the BGD is Andy.
Okay.
And the other one, I don't remember who is. I think so. The other one is how this guy that did a record from California to the East Coast.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
you're
Harley,
talking.
Harley.
Yeah.
Harley.
Harley,
Yeah, that was a picture I took in Homestead General Airport in South Florida, Miami. Yeah.
It just made me think of something. The guy on the right looks like he's legs out, ready to land, and the guy on the left is in the seat.
Well, actually, that guy, he was doing wing overs. After he did that, he coming and he do a pass over me, just so close to the ground. Yeah, Andy, he just do a lot of spirals and he coming down. Then after going up, doing wing overs. Yeah.
Maybe he's out of the seat just in case.
Well,
I'm kind of afraid of heights, man. And somebody gave me this challenge, and I'm having a hard time with it. I've come out of my seat at 50 feet, 100 feet for landing, no problem. And the challenge was go to 2,000 feet, come out of your seat. I'm like, man, I don't know. I mean, do you check your leg straps and make sure they're good? Tight? I don't know. I mean, at 2,000 feet, it's the same
I
thing.
always
Just pretend it's 50.
Before I take off, I always check my leg strap twice or 3 times. Then after I do all my checks, I text my wife that I taking off. You laugh, but I have a family and I fucking respect that, Then, I take off and shit happen every day. The other day, I have to do emergency landing because I can get right in my seat. And I have to do emergency landing. Whatever field I found was perfect because after I landing in the bush, was a little windy. And thanks God, was a little windy. The air reverse come out and everything was good. Then the other day, Sunday, I took the windsock with me. And I was flying with my windsock in my air racers for 1 hour. Then I didn't land because everything was right. But it's like tragedy can arise anytime, any moment. Then I don't need people to fly. I go and I fly by myself because that's how I teach myself. Because I didn't was so lucky with my instructor, and I have to fly. I have to learn to fly because I really love to fly, and it's therapy for me. Then it's like all these people have something to do, have family affairs. You don't be no more a teenager. You don't can be with people all the time. Yeah. Hey, you guys don't. Hello, I don't listen to nobody.
Hey, your Dankies.
Yeah.
I want to let you know, just as we were leaving Friday afternoon to go camping, the truck is hooked to the camper. I pull out, my tires go into the curb of the road. The mailman pulls up. My wife gets out of her car. That the mailman hands her a big box, which was my wing. I back the truck up out of the road. I load up my paramotor. I throw everything in the trailer and we take off.
Man, that was good.
So yeah, me too. It was awesome.
Yeah, but he was afraid to come into my house. 2 hours of drive. Yeah.
No, it's longer than 2 hours.
2 hours and 20 minutes, man. It's not too long. It's okay.
Either which way.
Before you came to Lake Wales? Shane?
Yeah. I literally was heading to see you. And when you told me that you weren't flying because of your chicken leg. I mean, your injured leg. Sorry.
It's the right leg. Actually, the left leg.
I was like, well, if I had my motor, I'd fly. Now, if you were flying, Dave, I had no intentions at all bringing my wing or my motor. I was literally going to go there to watch you fly. And then you said you were hurt. I was like, oh man, I really wish I had my wing so I could fly. And then I got my wing, and you still weren't flying. So
I got to watch you fly though.
yeah, sorry about that.
Right.
Everybody
I'll
was
take
like,
it.
everybody's like, things not to do. Watch Shane take off.
Oh, Shane.
So Shane, did you get a new wing or did you get your old wing back from Czech?
I got to inspect. I got my old wing back, which, by the way, I had the brake shortened by 2 inches. The very first time I took flight, did not like it. I literally flew 10 minutes and was scared to death. And then I landed over where DP was, and I was like, well, I'm not walking my gear all the way across the runway. You know where they all practice or train,
Stonehenge.
the Stonehenge. And I was like, dude, I'm not walking all the way back there. So I was like, I'll just fly back over and land. When I took off and was flying, I was like, everything feels okay. It's not, it's just, I don't know if it was something that was just weird because it was new or there was something actually wrong. So on my second flight and I landed, I was like, man, that didn't feel bad at all. Like everything felt okay. It was less barely any input seemed to be dramatic, but I don't know if that was just because it was new to me or
What do you feel when you were flying? What do you feel when you was flying? She was trying to pitch like with little thermos or something?
No, it felt like the brakes were already like there was pressure on the brakes. But that was the first time. The second time I flew, I didn't really feel that. I just felt that any kind of little bit of input was like before when I'm flying, I had to pull this much to get it to turn. Now I pulled this much and it was turning. And I was like, wait a minute. So I don't know if it was just like, when you redo your brakes on your car and then you pump the brakes and they're different. So the first time you drive, you may smash the brakes a little harder because you're used to hitting them harder, but now they're more sensitive. So I don't know if it was like that kind of, input. I haven't flown it since. I have not flown since. And I just kind of want to, well, the weather right now isn't great. I did bring my wing over and my gear over to the West Coast this past weekend, but winds were not good. And I'm just waiting. I want to get up there and try it again and see if everything feels better or feels, safe. And if so, then I'll leave it like it is. If it doesn't, then I'll let an inch out of the 2 inches that were brought in and go from there.
I would think that depending on your wing, 2 inches less in your brake lines could possibly just make a pretty dramatic difference from what you're used to.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same. Like there is a difference. So, but I did notice when that first 10-minute flight, I did do a little bit of wing overs, and it was so intense. Like I know when I'm going into it that I want to pull harder. This I barely pulled, and I was like, holy crap, I'm really into this. And without any real input. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. I will
What happened is like when they coming out of factory, I mean like regular wing on original way, they have a little bit of trouble to get the pressure. They have a little bit of trouble to get the pressure. Then after you hit the pressure is when you're beginning to do it.
Right.
Then what people do is like they always taking away 1 inch or 2 inches just to feel, not to get the curve in the back. You need to let, when the wing is flying, like your brakes in the back, they have a curve. That curve, you never can kill it because, you kill your wing and then she never have reaction for her. But you can play with the brakes down below, just your arm, change the position.
You just have to be careful that you want to do it with the
with the
trims all the way out, because if you shorten them and you then let the trims out, you're already pulling some brake, and
So sorry for
yeah, you get some collapse.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed about my unit after I changed the hang points, and I haven't flown it yet with the changed hang points without the retractor trike. I'm going to recheck my hang point again without the extra 20 pounds. Man, I've probably been flying in too far forward of a position for a while. A few months ago, I had a bad launch where I didn't lean back far enough, and I drove myself into the ground and broke a prop. That might have been part of it. My hang point probably already need to be checked. Basically, you know, in November 19, I bought my gear new, and they tested me for my hang points at Aviator. I was a certain weight that had changed. So I think maybe I was borderline needing to change them anyway. But after I changed them and I flew this morning, I felt like I was sitting back in my chair a little bit more like a recliner, and I was more comfortable than I've ever been in my life flying in that paramotor, because it was adjusted a little different, just way more relaxing. So, you know, if you've been in your gear for a long time and you haven't rechecked things, you know, maybe it's worth another check.
Yeah, that's what I did. I went to a larger gas tank this year, and then I also added the reserve, and so I had to recheck my hang point. Unfortunately, it was the same, but it was just a little bit changed by an inch or two. But if you add stuff to it, or if you get a little heavier due to COVID, you know, checking that hang point is a good idea, as you say, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just curious how when I take the retractor trike off and recheck the hang points, if it's going to be still acceptable before I fly it. I assume it will be. The idea behind adding the retractor trike is you don't have to change your hang points to take it on and off. So I was probably borderline needing to check it anyway. But if you're not feeling like you're sitting back in your seat a little bit and you're comfortable, if you feel like you're halfway falling out of your seat and you're flying, something's not probably adjusted quite right.
I'm still here, guys. I'm in the midst of telling the story or texting somebody. Sorry, guys. I'm still here, though. I can hear you, and I'm still part of it.
Red says hi.
What's up, Red?
Wow, he's getting bigger every time I see him.
He's gonna be like 60 pounds probably already, if he's not already.
Hey, come here.
But he's trying to bite his own collar.
Come here.
But yeah, he's a good dog, man. This dog is the most relaxed dog I've ever seen in a pool. Every time we go in the pool house now, he just walks up.
Come on,
it's his favorite toy, and walks straight into the pool. He jumps off the bank of the pool. Super smart, doing really good.
And if you need to get rid of an Atlas, you know somebody to call.
I know somebody that's pretty effective at chewing up random alley.
That was hilarious.
That was my fault. I let it fall on the ground in the garage, and I didn't pick it up. And well, he took care of it for me. Nah, he's a good dog, man. He's growing up too quick. He's gonna be 6 months old in just a few days. So on the 20th.
That video of him running through the corn rows in your produce was pretty cool too. He loves it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, we have fun pretty much every morning. He'll go out, he'll run around, stuff like that. He's like a lot of these other dogs. He likes some tall grass. What kind of dog you got there, Mark?
It's a lab border collie mix.
Okay.
At least one of them. She's the one that's closest to me. She thinks she's a lap dog, so she likes to get comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like Red there.
Yeah. Well, it started out initially he was almost small enough to be a lap dog, you know, but they grow out of that pretty quick.
Oh yeah, she's about 65 pounds, so it's a heavy weight on the lap. Oop, there we go.
Yeah, all dogs think that they're 2 pounds and can jump on your lap.
Mm-hmm. I had when we first got married, we had a small poodle. It was about actually a schnauzer. It was about 8 pounds, and I took it to the vet, and it was a puppy, and so it was only about 4 pounds. It was a miniature, and a big Saint Bernard walked in. The thing started barking at Saint Bernard like like, hey, get out of my area. This is mine. St. Bernard turn around, look at it like, hey, it's lunch. What are you talking about? Leave me alone. But yeah, they don't know size. They think they're all a bunch of little ones.
Walter says he has a dingo. Laugh out loud.
He's a golden retriever. He asked in the chat what kind of dog he was. If he was talking to me, he was a golden retriever. He's talking to Mark. Well, he told you.
There you go.
I have a Jack. He's not allowed on the couch. When he gets on the couch, I'm like, Jack off the couch.
You jerk.
Our first spit take. Man, Chevy Chase couldn't have done it better, Sean.
Got him.
Man, that was good.
Dude,
perfect.
Dude, that was like
lucky catch.
What happened to Sean? Shane killed him.
Shame.
Yeah, really.
Gonna need,
Oh, that was.
he's
That was
gonna,
good.
he's gonna need CPR. Yeah.
You cannot time it any better.
I was going for a drink as soon as he said that and it went out my nose. I'm like, I can't breathe. Dude.
Josh Perry said he realized at Bad Apples that he hates exercising, riding the bike, so he ordered an e-scooter. Currently waiting 4 weeks for them to ship it. I can't look at Sean's face right now. It's all
making you cough.
Dude, I'm gonna have to get another dog and name him Jack.
Yeah, it's the greatest.
Yep. And make it a Jack Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That way I can really name him Jack, and that'll work. I don't know if I can handle a Jack Russell. They just have more energy than I could ever have. It's like,
Dude,
give me the energy.
we got an Australian Shepherd, or my daughter does, and this dog is non-flipping stop. I'm like, dude,
so smart.
Yeah, they're.
We gotta. I kick this dog out all the time. Jack will come in here and lay on the floor and just mind his own business. But the
Jack
puppy
off the floor.
he comes in here and she just comes in here and terrorizes. And earlier today they disconnected my computer, unplugged the TV, like literally just was terrorizing everything. I was like, all right, dude, out. And then they sit outside the sliding glass door whining. What do we got here?
This is my equivalent to a Jack Russell. This guy nonstop from the time I get up in the morning to the time I go to bed wants to play ball. Where's your ball? Did you want to play ball? Where's your ball? Where's your ball? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where is he taking me? Trying to find them. Ah! Oh. Now he's running trying to find the ball. Oh, he found a ball.
Oh.
At least he gave it back. Mine runs away. Thinks it's a keep away.
And this is my this is my biggest beagle ever.
Aw. I love
beagle. And this one thinks that he's 2 pounds and wants to sit on your lap.
Lap dog.
You are just too big to be a lap dog, you big bubby. And they're both rescues. This one was actually bigger when we first got him. And you think he's fat now? He was a big fat sausage when we got him. And that first one, he was 16 pounds. All you felt was bones. So
that's what she said.
That's what she said.
A couple beagles, we call them bugles, man. They have.
Oh, Jesus, sorry, hit the wrong button.
I gave
Dogs
my
are
parents
good.
a beagle, and it spent every night right outside their bedroom window, howling at the moon at midnight. They were very thankful. Yeah.
They're like, great.
Oh man. Yeah, we've had a few beagles, a few bulldogs. This is our first golden retriever. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised when we got him at 8 weeks old. He was already knew how to retrieve.
That is so funny.
Took me a minute to put up together the name of Golden Retriever and what it actually meant. But yeah, he was pretty good at that. Still is.
That's pretty cool. Anybody in the chat have dogs? What kind of dogs do you have, and what do you think? Are dogs like really man's best friend? I think so. I think dogs are great.
Indeed.
Well, what do
Yes,
they say?
they are better than me.
Dogs have masters, cats have slaves. Is that how it goes?
I think so. I'm not much of, I mean, I had one cat that I really liked. It was a black cat. Really liked him. He was a good cat. He was given to me years and years and years and years ago. Must have been 30 or 40 years ago. Maybe 50 or 60. I don't know.
I take it he's gone.
He's gone. He was a good dog.
Sorry for your loss.
He was a good cat, like from a long, long, long time ago. I think the
I-
first cat I ever had.
I have 3 stupid cats.
Yeah, 3 stupid cats?
Yeah, I got cats because when my last dog died, which was a Rottie, by the way, Shane, I don't think my heart could take another dog because I'd immediately start worrying about when he was going to die. And so I got 3 cats. I rescued 3 cats, and I thought, yeah, it's all right. When they go, it won't be so hard on me. The dog was. And that really was my reasoning. Well, I'm kind of attached to them now. I don't ever want to say I'm a cat person, but yeah, they're all right. And one's name is Jack.
You got a cat that's named Jack?
And he's always on the couch. Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That could be
Hey,
like
dogs are awesome, man. They don't live as long as us, so loss is something we have to deal with. But man, the heartbreak of losing the ones I've loved, I wouldn't trade having them for anything, man.
I agree.
This one right here behind me, man. I've put so many videos together into a folder, and I just can't bring myself to get through processing a video yet of like in loving memory of Major, man. It's tough, you know, but you know, there's a lot of good dogs out there, man, and we got Red now, and Major would be happy that I'm happy. So
yeah,
I know. It's crazy.
Still
My
can't do it.
I had to let my dogs go, you know, when I moved out of state. And okay, this is really bizarre, but on Friday I get this text, right, and it says, "Oh, hey, I have your dog got out. He's in my yard right now. I've got him in the house." Well, what had happened was the tags that are on my little dog, Chunk, the tags were still in my name. So when she called Humane Society, you know, they found me. And yeah, the dog got in this lady's yard. And I was like, I don't have the dog anymore. And at first I'm like, who is this person? And then the next day she sent me a picture of him. And I was like, oh my God, okay, this is in Phoenix. Okay. And I'm like, that's my Chunk. So he got out of the lady's yard that, you know, he found his new home with this lady or whatever. So make a long story short, I was looking back in some texts that my ex sent me, and that the lady, she sent pictures to him that Chunks was doing okay. And I found a phone number of this lady, you know, phone number on the picture with Chunks. So I took a wild guess thinking, okay, that's got to be her phone number. So I called her, I messaged her, whatever, you know, and I said, hey, Maria, here's her phone number, Chunks at her house, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing I got a text and it said, oh, thank you so much. I got my dog back. He's very much loved and everything. And so it all worked out. But how bizarre is that? I'm in another state and I still get a text. This is, I got your dog here. And yeah, so I was just happy that he's okay and he's got a good home. She said that she looked for him all night, the night before and everything. And so, yeah. And then my oldest dog, my ex has the oldest dog, Max. And last week, the week before, Max started having seizures and they couldn't figure out what it was. And they got him to the vet, and I guess he's got some kind of a little bit of a tumor or something, but the only thing I could do is just keep him on meds right now and, you know, let him live his life. But yeah, so that's my story with my puppies. They're
It's
still in
not
my
a
heart.
Puma.
Yeah, they're still in my heart. They're both like 12 years old now or whatever. But yeah, that was tough to see that though. I mean, hearing back seizures
Oh
and
my gosh,
yeah,
Brian.
seeing chunks, you know, sitting outside somebody's patio and I couldn't do anything and yeah, it was hard. So
This is why I keep the live stream or the chat reviewable even when our live stream is done, because you guys got to see what Brian put in the chat. That's, did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Red's
it's
like,
uh-huh.
Oh man, there's one good sign that I'm awake in the morning. Every morning.
Red hightails it out of your bedroom, huh?
Sometimes I do too.
Oh my gosh.
My dad used to say it was always the dog.
Oh yeah, that's the go-to.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dating.
Yeah.
Damn dog.
Damn dog.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
My goodness.
I always like to saying, you know, people say that dogs don't go to heaven. Well, if dogs don't go to heaven, if they go somewhere else, I want to go there because that surely is heaven. So that's how I feel.
that's right.
Agree. Absolutely agree. 100% agree.
For a baby. Yeah.
We got off the topic a little bit from paramotors, but I tell you what, dogs are just as awesome as paramotors, I think. And even these dogs I got for free, but they're the most expensive dogs I've ever had in my life. Going to the vet, and buying them things and goodies and treats, and we found some really good clothes, different types of clothes for them for during the winter time, because it gets cold over here. No, it doesn't, but it's cute. It's cute to have them in little sweaters and things. So
Gosh, I can't believe the outfits they have for these little dogs. I went to PetSmart with my mom because my mom's got her German Shepherd, so we went to PetSmart and yeah, I'm standing there in line and yeah, they have all these little dresses,
dogs.
jean jackets, and
yeah, they're
They're
really cute. Little
masculine cats at
shoes.
best.
I know.
Hey, Sean, I have a question about moonshiners real quick.
Yeah.
Not to get off subject here, but
No, it's good. Let's change it back to paramotors.
no,
This is
I
a
have a
paramotor.
question. They have bathrooms and showers there, or did they just have bathrooms?
I think I heard this. I think I remember them saying bathrooms and showers.
And there's water there.
But
There's no power.
But that could have been bad apples that I was thinking about. I don't know. But we did a whole podcast on moonshiners. It was a moonshiners Q&A. I tell you what we could do is I can repost that on my YouTube, and that way we know what's going on, I guess.
Yeah, no, do that because I need to. I'm really trying to avoid pulling my big camper 10 hours one way, and if I can pull my cargo or my paratrailer, then I want to do that. But I'm bringing the wife, and she's very insistent on knowing if there's bathrooms there and showers, because the paratrailer has neither one of those.
That'd be me. I'd be like, I need my bathroom. I need showers.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and re-upload it. I got it here on the desktop because I was going to do that anyway. So Moonshiners Q&A, dropping it in right now, and I'm uploading it, so it should be available sometime tomorrow, I guess.
That'll work for me.
So
cool.
There we go.
Mark Elroy just said he ordered a new generator. I want to know what generator he went with. Now post that in the chat for me, please, sir.
He probably just heard you.
That's what I mean. in the chat, he can, when in 30 seconds, he can tell me. I know he went with that stupid Honda and paid all the extra money for it, but he could have got a 38 or a 3500 Predator from Harbor Freight and saved himself $2,000.
And then just run over it right before the warranty runs out and you get a new one?
Exactly. That's what I'm doing. It's a 27-month warranty on a 26th month. That joker, it don't even have to have anything wrong with it. I'm just going to drain the oil and the gas out of it and say, hey, it ain't working.
Well, if we have limited or if we have access to water, I'll have my camper. There'll be showers available. You might have to take them in the outdoor shower with swimming suit on, but you know, only got so much room in a gray water tank.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, we have the redneck hot tub or the redneck hot shower.
From Flight if you got it.
The yellow one.
Vail. But my wife is not jumping in that. No.
Not again.
For y'all that want to see that, you can go back to my Flight if you got it video, where I met Shane for the first time, and he gave me a very nice walkthrough tour of his redneck shower. I call it that. I don't know.
Yeah.
What is a redneck shower?
So it consists of a 150 quart cooler, a heating element that I got off of Amazon for like $35 that warms the water up, and then it's a fountain pump that you put in like a pond or something to.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And I hooked it to a water hose. The water hose runs into the shower, to a shower head, and then it's an enclosed Insta shade. And we literally had these foam mats down and a cot on one side of the shower so you can put all your towels and clothes over there. So you shower to the one side and then walk over and get dressed on the other side.
Is it handicap accessible, Shane?
It was, yes.
Wow.
Hey, Mark, I will let her know. I did read your comment. And I don't have to worry about her too much. I think there's a good chance she might be able to take Mark. And anything, I'm just saying she's kind of tough.
She's got guns. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, I know. I do know. I bought them all for her. Oh my goodness. All right, so there is water. That's good. I'm like I said, it doesn't. I'm trying to avoid pulling my 33-foot trailer freaking 10 hours. It's just a pain in the aspirin. See what I did there, Sean? Keeping it PPG rated.
You have more than one camper? You get the para camper and then you get your
my big
right?
camper. Yeah.
Okay.
And I literally bought this enclosed trailer for out-of-state things, but I really didn't expect my wife to go to anything out of state. What was Bad Apples was not a bad pull. I think it was, I don't remember how far it was now. It was 400 miles from my house to Bad Apples. And we stopped around 11 o'clock at night or so and pulled into a truck stop and jumped in the camper and slept overnight and then woke up in the morning and continued. And we would probably do the same thing, but the problem is on the way home, we're going to be heading back and it's all going to just be just a one shot. I don't know if I really want to pull camper because there's, Brian, I don't know how, I mean, you've been all over the country, but it's kind of a pain and tiresome to pull that camper for a long period of time. You got to pay attention to the road a lot more than you do when you just got the truck. You're just driving the truck, not a trailer.
Yeah, very true. I would say that you totally get used to it. For me, pulling a camper across the country is all about enjoying the trip and not worrying about so much about getting to the destination. I drive 300 or 400 miles a day. Don't push myself too hard. And make stops. But the main thing is you can't go through drive-throughs. If the only time I eat fast food is when I'm traveling,
Right.
and if you got a camper behind you, you can't do that. And in this year of COVID, a lot of dining rooms haven't been open either, so it makes getting food potentially hard to get. If you can't walk into the dining room and you can't go through the drive-through, what you gonna do? You have to make a sandwich in the camper. But so
I'll pull the Blackstone out next to Burger King and show them how it's done.
You'll have your own drive-through going beside there.
Probably.
But not, I mean, having to stop at RV parks and trying to find a place that, hey, I'm just for a quick overnight. I don't want to disconnect. You got a place long enough where I can stay hooked up. That way I can get out early in the morning. Things like that you have to kind of check on. You get used to it. It's just a lifestyle. I don't think it's a big deal to go across the country in a camper. I think it's a big deal to go anywhere and be in a hurry. That's when all the stress comes in. Pulling a camper across the country has made me a better, more relaxed, chill driver because you can't hurry.
I am a to B kind of guy. Like when we go on a destination, I want to get there as fast as possible, and then I want to have fun. I don't want to spend a day and a half to
you know what that is? I can tell you exactly what that is. That's the weekend warrior in you. You're a Monday to Friday guy, and you got your weekends, and you got to take full advantage of it. And you don't want to spend. You can't spend 3 days driving across the country. I think what you getting more of a retired state of mind where you don't have to be anywhere at a certain period of time. You get a little more relaxed and not in such a hurry to get from A to B. You enjoy the trip more, is what I'd say.
Yeah. Tony asked what if you can stop at rest stops and stuff. The funny part was I literally had a Love's truck stop on the map. That was our destination. So when I got off work, my wife got home off of work, we jumped in the truck and took off. And we got to, it was probably 10 o'clock when we got to the spot that we were looking at. We pulled in and there was not a parking spot available. There were 18-wheelers everywhere. They were double parked. I was just like, I'm not, as a weekend warrior, gonna park in front of an 18-wheeler, you know what I mean? Like, and go jump in my camper. So we continued on down the road. And I think we ended up getting another, it wasn't until about 11:30 or 12 o'clock, we found another either Love's or Pilot or something. And I pulled into the truck stop and I found an open spot. And you got all these professional drivers. And I see a parking spot, and truck stops, their parking spot or their parking spaces are very tight. Kudos to all those who drive 18-wheelers. My uncle's a lifer. He's been driving 18-wheelers his whole life. And I was just like, oh, that's tight. My wife's like, do you want me to get out and back you up? I was like, hell no. These guys will all be sitting in here making fun of me. And I'm telling you right now, I backed that trailer right up into the spot. And I was just like, personally inside myself, I was like, yeah, you're the man. I was hyping myself all up. And my wife's like, all right, so are we going to start the generator? Because I had a generator back in my truck. And I was like, man, I got to go find the stupid extension cord for the camper. And I was like, let's just see what it's like in the camper. And we got in there. It was a little warm. Couldn't open the windows because the truck or 18-wheelers had their generators going. It was kind of loud. And I was like, I'll turn the exhaust fan on and I'll open the window. Just crack a window and try to get some cross breeze going. And we woke up and it was like 60 degrees in the camper in the morning. Ooh. We were both like covered up, hugging on each other. And I was like, man, it got cold in here. She's like, yeah, I finally fell asleep when I cooled down. I was just like, yeah. Then we woke up, took out of there. And because we got up early, I had to spoil the wife, let her go get a cup of coffee because apparently she's got to have that. And of course, Brian, all I wanted to do was go. And yeah, we got to Bad Apples and good. I think it was only like an hour drive that morning. So It wasn't bad, but yeah, I'm an A to B driver, dude. I got to get there. Like when we go to Ohio to hunt, or even to Dave Purden's, it's an all nighter. I work all day long and then we drive until we get there. There's no pulling over, resting. I just got to go. I've always been that way.
Did you guys ever? Did you ever guys park in a Walmart parking lot? Used to be they allowed campers in the parking lot. I know the one near me. It's only about a couple miles away. I used to see campers and even 18-wheelers in there all the time at night.
Yeah, there's a Walmart not far from my house, and there's no overnight camping signs signs everywhere. And I still see one or two campers every now and then overnight parking. I would hate to freaking have it 2-3 o'clock in the morning, have a sheriff department knock on my door and tell me I have to leave.
Yeah.
So, and on that trip to Bad Apples, we stopped and hit 3 or 4 rest stops as well. Rest stops were completely backed up. The 18-wheelers were on the exit ramp out of the rest stop, out on the interstate, and I was like, dude, there's nowhere to park in here. And I was like, all right. So we just kept going, and every time I seen a gas station that had truck stops available or whatever, we pulled in, and they were all full. I don't know why, but every place we went was full. And I got to the point where I was like, holy crap, I don't know if we're gonna have to just drive. Like, we're just gonna have to power through it. And well, I did find a spot. I was thankful because I was getting tired. And
could you not park like at a Walmart parking lot?
First time, well, like I was saying, the problem with that is if 2-3 o'clock in the morning, the sheriff department comes and says, hey, you got to move. Now,
Well, not Walmart. Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
Walmart doesn't do that.
They're not. Well, the whole Sam, the creator of Walmart, actually built it on the design of having people that were traveling stop at Walmarts and stay the night.
Right.
But my Walmart and so many other Walmarts have signs that say no overnight camping or campers or whatever. So my biggest concern is that in the middle of the night, someone's going to knock on my door and tell me to leave. Now I'm even more tired and exhausted, and I got to drive to find somewhere else to stay.
I wonder if those are local ordinances, where the Walmart is, because the Walmart near me, we're out in the boonies or whatever, and I've never seen a sign saying no camping, and I've seen campers there. And it used to be, before the pandemic, used to be a 24-hour Walmart. So people come in, pull in at 2 or 3 in the morning, they go into Walmart and stock up, and then go out and take a snooze in the camper.
That was the whole idea of from Sam Walton, was wanting people to go and park there, sleep overnight, wake up in the morning, go grocery shopping, and then continue on. So I don't know. I've seen it so many times where people were asked to leave. I watched a lot of YouTube camping videos and stuff, and there's people like, I'll never even try to park at a Walmart because I've been run out several times. And
really, I've never heard of that.
I'm not willing. Like I said, I'm not willing to take the chance of having to get up in the middle of the night and go try to find somewhere where I'm half asleep.
Right.
I got quite a bit of money that I'm pulling and driving, and I can't replace that. So for
my
me, it's just,
suggestion on that, I mean, Walmart's all over the place. I've been around the country. You go to some of these high-end mountain towns in like Colorado, and there's definitely no parking overnight. If they have the signs, obey it. If they don't have the signs, go inside, buy a pack of bubble gum, say hi to the manager, say, I'm going to park here overnight. You'll be good.
Yeah.
Most people don't know about Cracker Barrels. I've stayed at a dozen different Cracker Barrels around the country. They allow you to park there overnight.
I do forget about that.
I pulled up. I've got an app that's it's called Park Advisor, and it tells you about all the Triple J gas stations and all the Love's gas stops and all the rest areas, which ones have dump stations. all that kind of thing. And the Cracker Barrels, I don't know how many times I like to eat Cracker Barrel. I go there and I would eat dinner, and then, you know, if it's a moderate type climate situation when I'm doing that kind of thing, I don't need to run a generator. I just, you know, jump in the camper, sleep overnight, and get out of there early in the morning before I'm disrupting their parking. You know, and
so in the chat real quick, Josh Perry says, DP, are you and mom going to Moonshiners? DP at Josh Perry. Who else is going to keep an eye on our boy? Josh Perry, laugh out loud. Resurgence PPG. I stayed at a Cabela's in Phoenix, woke up right underneath the no overnights camping sign. I took it as a win.
He's a scofflaw.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
I'm dying over here. Listen to Brian. I don't want Brian thinking I'm laughing at him for some. I'm laughing at the chat because I'm dying, dude.
I've been reading it too. We got Todd Scandrick finally shows up, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I'm just kidding, Todd.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in time for us to say goodbye and say goodnight, right?
Oh, there goes the neighborhood.
So who
Boy,
is the
look at the time. Why?
relationship, Dave or Josh? I can't remember. What is it, David Perry? Which one's the father in this relationship?
Oh, I'm the father.
You're
Yeah,
the father.
I'm the old part. Yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
wait, who was saying something about me?
Hey, he's probably older than you too, isn't he? That's kind of backwards.
No, I'm 52. I'm definitely older than him.
There's no way you're 52, man.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Really?
I'm 52 also.
Yeah.
We're Twinkies.
Yeah. Josh is a young techie. He's the son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one I call. I can't get my internet working, son. Help me out here.
I can't log into PPG Zone. Help me.
What's my password?
I've
It
got
is
a son 2
password
years
1
younger
2
than
3.
you.
Yeah, password.
Oh, John. Hey, John Wayne.
Yeah.
You're the truck driver, right?
No.
Who is the truck driver?
Don't know.
Is it Bill? Is
Uh,
it Bill
um,
H?
No, Bill H does sign work.
My buddy Scott Shamka, that he was in my SIV class with Brook. His nickname was Paratrucker. He drove trucks for a long time. He had a foot launch unit that he would disassemble and put in his back seat. He also traveled the country with a parakeet in the cab, and he would go to all these different truck stops, get his motor out, and fly. He literally went to El Paso, I think, and flew. It was pretty close to the damn border, flying across to Mexico. We told him you might not want to do that.
Hey, Brian, what was the campground app that you use? Mark Elroy wants to know.
Yeah, Park Advisor is one that I've used. It's definitely not perfect, and there's a bunch more out there, but it's really good if you're traveling. If you want to see where the next rest area is going to be on the interstate you're traveling on, or that kind of thing. I've used it so many times to find a place to camp overnight. But there's a bunch of them out there.
All right, cool. Park Advisor. Stop asking, Mark. He's asked 6 times already. Jesus. Oh, freaking Elroy.
Yeah, so if you're at Endless Foot Drag and you saw a flatbed trailer out there and you did any kind of foot dragging or wheel dragging or anything kind of like JP Tulo or TikTok Star, that was Scott. He was generous enough to bring a flatbed truck to a paramotor fly in and disconnect it so everybody can land on it.
That's pretty cool.
Real cool.
It was awesome.
Wish I was able to do that, but I'm not. And it's 5 minutes until my wife calls me and tells me to go to bed. So how about we wind everything down and get ready to head on Oot and a Boot. So let's go ahead and go through everybody, let everybody know where they can find you. Let's start with Brian Haybale Waller. How do we get up with you? And I appreciate you being our guest tonight. How do we get up with you and learn more about your trike transition?
Sure. So you can look me up on YouTube. By the easiest way is to go to my website, ppgbrian.com. Go to that takes me to my YouTube page. You can check out some of the videos. I'm on Facebook. I'm not super famous on TikTok like some of my other co-hosts, but
I know that's right.
Well,
I got into paramotors a year and a half ago, and I've met some incredible people. I made a lot of friends along the way, and I've had a lot of fun. And if you're thinking about getting the paramotors, stop thinking to do it.
I agree. I agree 100%. Stop thinking about it. Get out there and do it. We also have Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane. Matter of fact, he's going to be having a show tomorrow night. That's pretty famous. It's really getting famous. So, Shane, tell us a little bit about your show and how do we get to it?
We are doing on 8 o'clock Eastern time at ppgshane.com. You can find us hanging out, talking about whatever. We jump all over the place. It's literally like hanging around a campfire. We just sit around, talk about whatever pops up. If there's a serious matter, we talk about that for a very short time. And then we go to jokes, like the name of my dog and what he's sitting on and what he's not supposed to be on. Yeah, we just have a good time. We make fun of each other, make fun of people in the chat. People in the chat make fun of us. And it's just a good time. It's not serious. And I think that's why it's actually taken, it's gaining ground, if you will, because not that being serious is wrong, but every now and then we just need to be goofy and have fun and not be serious. And I think, honestly, I get messages all the time about how they like the show because it's not a serious situation. We're just goofing off and having fun, and we all do that and we all enjoy it. So why not do it and watch people on YouTube? So you can also find me on TikTok at ppgshane.com. I just started. I only have, actually, Sean, I got a really good TikTok on there. My buddy with the pellet smoker. I want you to know he's a police officer and screams like a girl. Just so you know.
I saw it. I saw it.
It's the snake.
Oh, it's awesome. But yeah, that's what tomorrow night is, 8 o'clock Central. Show up and let's have fun. Let's hang out.
And that's over at ppgshane.com, and they can subscribe to your channel and hit that bell notification so they know when you go live.
That's 8 o'clock Eastern, not 8 o'clock Central.
Did I say Central? 8 o'clock Eastern. Where do I live?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, on the east side.
So what time is that Central?
7 o'clock.
4 o'clock, okay. 6 o'clock, something, I don't know.
Brian, don't you mess with me. Don't you
Depends
mess
on,
with me.
depends on daylight savings time. You know? Or if you live in Arizona.
Yeah.
That's like 2 hours different.
And we'll definitely be there tomorrow. So thank you, Mr. Shane. We also got Linda Anderson. You can find her at paramomusa.com. And there's somebody else that's famous in your life. Who's that? And how do we chat with him and see him every week?
That would be Robert Michaels at ParagonTalk.com on Thursday night. Come join us. We always have a good time, lots of laughs. Anything goes, you know. Just gotta jump on the show and see what's going on.
Yeah, we missed him last week. What happened?
Actually, he had a revival with his pastor. So yeah, he has some church stuff going on.
He had God calling him.
Pioneering.
Yep.
Yeah, and our show, you know, we say keep it PPG rated. He keeps it G rated. So, you know, if you have kids, go to his show and listen to it because our show is just way too off the wall. I'm saying, but
swear jar, so it's pretty hilarious.
yeah. We also have Mark H. He's our PPG trike jockey. He came on and chatted with us a little bit. How do we get to your YouTube channel and watch your shenanigans?
Well, I don't have too big. It's not too big. I just do it mostly for family. But if you want to find it, it's ppgtrikejockey.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you for jumping on the show and chatting with us. We appreciate you for sure. We also got David Perry in the house. Apparently, it's Josh Perry's daddy, and
I mean, not his daddy.
you use the daddy. Who's Josh's daddy?
Now it got creepy.
Yes, this is why I have therapy.
One leg in, one leg out.
Paramotors are my therapy. So you just started flying your new flyer. We can get up with you at PPG
Foot Launch, ppgfootlaunch.com.
And why is it footlaunch.com? What's
it's got something to do with a foot. I guess. Something's afoot.
So
or a lack thereof.
So you went up to 1 Foot Up Adventures?
But they don't call it feet launch.
No,
they don't.
Yeah, I'm the only one doing it right. Me and Craig, and,
Yeah, you and Craig. That's right.
Yeah,
absolutely. So thank you so much.
No, thank you.
It's always good to have you on here and chatting with us and telling us about things that we just don't know about. Like well, it was on Shane's show, right? That you started talking to us about
stiffies.
Your
we're going to bleep that out.
I guess. Sure.
Hey, real quick. Do you name your prosthetic?
I don't.
Foot?
I don't, but maybe I have now. Stiffy. Thanks to Shane.
We have just started. What is that opening in the ground? Oh, that's hell. We're all going.
We're all going.
It's getting hot in here.
It's getting hot in here. And we also got John Wayne. John Wayne, thank you for joining us here. You don't have much shenanigans going on your YouTube channel, do you?
Nope.
Nope, that's it. That's all we're going to do.
That's it. You can find me right here on Monday.
You hang out with Shane on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So you can find him over at ppgshane.com. Well, also, and don't forget, we also had Brook Sheffield on our show today. You can find him at ppgpirate.com. And what is his, does he have an actual website for his new school yet?
I don't know. I think I heard him say redpillparamotor.com.
Yeah.
But
yes.
I know he has wheelsupnc.com. But I think maybe he has changed his idea for the name to Red Pill Paramotor stuff.
I think it's Red Pill with an R.
Yeah.
And that, every time I hear that, I always think of that joke. Why are pirates always angry? They just are.
They just are.
I actually meant to have him describe why it's called Red Pill Paramotors on the show tonight.
Can you tell us?
It is an interesting concept, but I hate to misexplain it, but it's you've seen the Matrix, the red pill and the blue pill. Red pill is to wake your mind and see the truth in life, and the blue pill is to go about your normal pre-programmed daily life and not have any
That's what I
worries.
was thinking when I saw that originally.
So the red pill is to basically take a chance in life, and Matrix did not define this. It goes back a lot further than that, but most people of our generation will recognize it from that. So that's basically where he gets his title from. Brook, if I butchered that at all, I'm totally sorry. But yeah, that's the gist of it. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And you guys can stay on here after we get off the air. You guys are more than welcome to stay here and chat, or we can all say goodbye right now, and we'll see each other on Shane's show tomorrow. I guess we're all saying peace out.
I'm going to bed so I can do a cross country in the morning, hopefully.
All right,
There you go.
Have fun.
Good deal. Have fun.
Then we will say peace out to everyone, and thank you very much for joining us on clearproptv.com. And we'll see you tomorrow on Shane's show at ppgshane.com. My name is Sean Simon. They call me PPG Grandpa, and you can find me at ppggrandpa.com and iflyparamotors.com. I can't believe nobody bought that.
You did.
You
I
did.
did because nobody else did. It was awesome. I fly paramotors. I'm gonna have a big shirt with that on there. All right,
That's
guys.
awesome.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I better go before I get a phone call.
I had to give a
Uh-oh.
shout out to Doug Martin for joining us on the show.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Doug.
I'm waiting for the hook, Sean. I'm waiting for the hook.
The vaudevillian hook.
Yeah.
The hook is coming quick, and I need to get out of here before.
All right. Good night.
Night,
Good
y'all.
night.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Peace
Night.
out, y'all.
Bye, guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Night. And everybody's going bye-bye.
John, I think I heard you trying to ask me a question at the end, man.
Did
Something
I?
about- was it John or Mark?
Nope.
Okay.
Might have been John. No.
No. Thought somebody's trying to ask me something about my cross country, man. I heard my name a couple times.
Oh,
Sorry.
Maybe. Are you using your trike for your cross country?
Yeah. So I can take off with a full tank of gas. Absolutely.
Bonus.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And don't have to worry about that wet wing launch in the morning time
Yep.
with the trike either.
Yep. Stay safe.
Yeah. Appreciate it,
Definitely
guys.
safe. I can't wait to see the
The
video.
video. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Bye,
Stay
everyone.
tuned.
Bye.
All right, peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Deuces. Deuces, but not in PBG Shane's.
Oh my God, end it. Oh my God.